The Hold Fast Social Club presents So You're Kinda a Big Deal with your hosts, Shawn Hedley and Dave Allen. Welcome to So You're Kinda a Big Deal, a weekly podcast deep diving into the lives of emerging and established tattoo artists. Listen in as we dig into origin stories, industry hot topics, and what it takes to survive in the world of tattooing. This is Tattoo Shop Talk. It's funny, it's crass, inspiring, and sometimes we get it right. Join your hosts Shawn Hedley and Dave Allen every week as we host a new guest.
It was great getting to know Curly and this amazing guy that tattooed with one arm. You know, the customer had to stretch his own skin.
So I did get blood poisoning from him twice. Yeah, twice.
Ed Hardy brought this whole Japanese influence into American tattooing.
Once Dave Shore come onto the scene, it was like tattooing completely changed.
If anybody could say anything about greaseball Japanese, it's fucking Dave Shore.
Salty, piratey, bikery, just hard not to do.
Man, he'd pull in on his chopper with the tattoos and the girls, and I mean, he was just like so cool, man.
He captured vulgarity and pleasure and insanity and recklessness.
Tattooer in the 80s or 70s. Just not the same, you had to be a tough guy.
I was scared shitless. Even though I was kind of a biker guy, these were bigger biker guys,
I'm not totally sure you could paint the picture accurately to somebody now getting into tattooing about what it was like then. And the only reason I would say or I feel that way, though, is because they might not believe you.
We had the limo waiting for him with all the lines of blow lined at the airport. This is the way we do it in Canada.
In the 80s, 90s, Paul Jeffries was like the king of tattooing. It wasn't just in Canada.
Like, am I supposed to stop tattooing? Because if this is what I'm supposed to aspire to, it's not gonna happen.
Each one of these old masters influenced groups of tattooers, who in turn influenced other groups of tattooers.
Years in the making. Huge amount of content. This is a book you don't want to miss out on, folks. Shawn Hedley and Dan Elkin, they put tons of time into this thing. It's incredible. Interviews, photos, tattoos. All your favorite tattooers are in here. They spent years trying to make it and sadly never made it to print. But here we have it for free, for download. You can get it at holdfastsocialclub.com and championtattoo.com. We're live. We're back. We found you. If only everyone knew how long that took.
Yeah. Well, how many old white guys does it take to start a podcast?
It's all gray hairs between all of us.
I know, right?
No surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all white. I skipped gray, went right to white.
Yeah, so did I. So
yeah.
Now I just use the hair darkening shampoo just to get rid of that like Q-tip gloss white, man. Summertime when I tan because I get so dark, it's just like woo.
Oh, maybe I should do that with my beard for the next convention.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be sweet. Go purple.
No, you gotta run it.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
Rob Noseworthy, how are you?
I cannot complain. I'm very good. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us on So You're Kind of a Big Deal, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's fun to talk to you fools.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, yeah, I haven't seen you or talked to you really since the Deadly show.
Yeah. And Dave, God knows when, I don't know. Years.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time that we hung out and chatted.
Yeah.
It was on the island, I'm pretty sure, but
yeah. definitely pre-COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then some.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but you didn't miss anything.
No.
Same old, yeah. Oh, for him, yeah. Just him paddling.
No, for you.
Yep. Same. What was that?
That was you
That was you paddling.
Oh, I paddle a kayak now. Your technique needs some work. Both of you.
It was a canoe. I don't know.
Awesome.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Dave. Take it away with this first boring question you start off with every time.
I'll field this one. I started.
What's your name? How old are you?
For real? Yeah. Rob Noseworthy
No.
here. And I am 48 years old, 49 later in the year.
And you're unemployed. You don't have a studio anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I've been loitering at Candace's. For anyone who doesn't know Candace, she's Candace Fitzner is a lovely lady that worked at the shop, my old shop, Black and Blue Tattoo. Since she was there before I started, so longer than me. And then she opened up a home studio once the shop closed, and I've been going there.
Awesome.
Just forcing yourself on
Yeah.
it. Figuratively.
Yeah. Insisted on a very good deal. Because, I'm...
It's always about the money with you. It's always about the money.
Yeah.
So I'll come work there. I get 98%.
Leaving fucking quarters on the table when you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a roll of quarters.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, she's been good to have me, and it gives me a smoking good deal, and I just like being around her. She's great to work with.
Yeah, she was awesome every time I guest spotted out of there, and she was in the shop and stuff. Super fun. So
Yeah. Just so
she's awesome person.
So easy to be around.
Yeah.
That was a solid crew you had at Black and Blue. Like, it was, Joel was always super awesome and easy to work with, and you had a really good crew there. Bobby Tripp at one point,
Genghis,
Dave Nichols,
Jaden Helgeson was with us. She apprenticed under Jody Spyshea, our friend Jody, who well, let's leave it at that. I think with Jody. And she came. She was out. She works at Candace's as well, so I see her when I work. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had lots of. I was blessed with having an awesome, easy crew. I never had too many problem childs, and the ones I did weren't that big of a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're the big giant. No, who's gonna tell you to get bent? I mean, I'd hate to see you lose your temper.
I'm a big softy, but yeah, mostly the crack. Yeah.
Yeah, until you're not.
Yeah. Just the crack that saw my wrath mostly, but.
Oh, amazing!
How many days a week are you tattooing?
I average two to three lately. I was 1 to 2 days a week for most of since after the shop closed. I was probably I didn't work for a while, and then I at least 3-4 months off, and then I went back to 1 or 2 days a week as I started to kind of figure out what I was going to do. And now I'm up to 2 to 3, sometimes 4 days a week, but those are rare. 2 or 3 is the average.
Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
I bet.
Yeah,
It's like,
what about
people ask me all the time, how much do you work? I'm like, I don't.
you guys scaled back a little, or?
Yeah,
I've scaled back a lot.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I love it. It's been really good. Like, I want to start some fun projects, of course, here soon. I got some fun projects on the go, but I'm not really doing anything else, and I'm not really coming into the shop if I don't have to be here anymore. Except now I do. I'm teaching somebody, so I'm he's off a week on a week because he's actually a tradesman.
Oh, yeah.
So when he's not here, I'm not here pretty much at all.
Huh.
When he is here, I'm kind of here.
Okay.
So
yeah,
but your free time, you're filling that with lots of jujitsu and stuff. Like,
yeah, I'm doing more
You re-
jujitsu and other shit. So
yeah. Please,
Sean got
please
his
post more
purple belt.
videos of you rolling around on mats with guys and stuff.
okay. I have a YouTube channel. You can go and watch like hundreds of hours of me rolling with dudes.
If you subscribe to his channel, they do it without clothes on.
Yeah.
It's greasy jujitsu.
All right, let's get back on track. Rob, tell us about your start.
Well, my start, okay. Well, I was already an old man when I started. I was 32 years old, I think, something like that. My boy was 1, I think, and I just kind of stumbled into it. You guys might know the story already, but basically, you know, when you can draw a bit, like I always had kind of a natural ability with drawing, and you know, when you can draw, you have a lifetime of people saying, you know, you should get some guns and tattoo me, you know, and so I literally was going into the shop. I got a friend, Russell. You guys know Russell Moreland.
Yeah,
he was already just kind of got his apprenticeship at Black and Blue, and I knew him through our wives are good friends. His ex-wife and my current wife are good friends, and so I just went in there like, how do I get, or just asked him, how do I get some guns, you know, and he was like, no, there's quite a bit to this, you know, and you should come talk to Albert. And Albert, you know, I brought him some drawings, and he said, yeah, sure, because he was like I love him to death, but a bit of a puppy mill at that time, because he was trying to sort of get his shop going and staffed, and, you know, have someone to answer the phone and all that, right? So he was apprenticing a lot of people, and I happened to get to be one of them. And I was going in one day a week on my days off from my day job as a log scaler. But I don't need to. I could explain log scaling, but it's just a boring job of
You're a lumberjack. You were a lumberjack.
Yeah. But anyways, I went in every Tuesday for a while, and then the summer heat comes and logging, it gets too dry, and they shut down the bush, and so picked me for layoff, you know, and took a layoff and collected Pogie while I went full time on my apprenticeship and never looked back.
Nice.
Yeah.
What year was that?
I'm gonna say it was 2005, I think, when I started poking around, and I think I probably started tattooing people, real people, in 2006, maybe. I think. My mind's terrible for timelines, so none of this.
Yeah, because I met you at the Abbotsford Tattoo Show.
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me that would have been like 2008. I think that show was.
I was hoping you would know. I was kind of curious, actually, what year that was.
But it's but yeah, and I remember you saying like, yeah, I've only been tattooed a couple of years, and I was just like, God damn it, another one. I'm like, fuck.
Well, now, God, everywhere you look, there's 2-year people, you know, that are just fucking hitting home,
crushing it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's great to see
so much.
It's
right?
pretty
great
awesome
to see, because it used to be, you know, not that.
Yeah.
It used to be a lot of really bad tattooers 2 to 5 years in. Right now, there's a lot that are just getting it.
Why did it take the artists so long to find this industry? Like, why didn't everybody who could draw, why weren't they bound in the, because I guess it was protected, right? You know, like you just couldn't access.
I think also the most artists wanted to make art and didn't think tattooing was a viable way to make art.
True,
you know?
true.
Yeah.
The age old.
Yeah. It was pretty violent for a long time.
Yeah, not exactly.
And sometimes you were getting your hands broke, you know.
Asking too many questions. You might get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways, it's kind of cool that those floodgates have opened, and man, it's a lot of good stuff. That said, there's a lot of pretty much cookie cutter stuff happening too. Like, it's just
absolutely
overwhelmingly not not unique. There's only a few unique ones out there.
Yeah.
But at least
absolutely. Yeah.
people can still stand out, I think, at least. Guys like Stace and
for sure.
Tex and I guess and the rest. Yeah.
Stace.
Yeah, Stace is, man, he's out in the wilderness on his own. He's just blazing a path. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, he's off on the natural DMT trip and he ain't coming back.
Yeah.
yeah. Water Street Phantom.
Yeah. Fantastic.
You're wearing a shirt right now, aren't you?
Yeah. The Deadly Show shirt. Love the shirt.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know. I regret not grabbing one.
Actually,
so
we were side by each at the Deadly Show. It was nice to get some one-on-one time with him.
Yeah.
Him and another dynamo, Shane Ford, young feller.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We just saw Shane actually on the weekend at the convention. So
he's become a big kid, big guy, like,
beefy. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, he lifts those weights.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, you got to lift them weights.
Yeah.
You're probably,
or you're
both of you guys are doing extracurricular stuff that makes you strong. You guys must be feeling pretty good, hey?
For my age, I feel great.
Yeah, I would agree with Shawn. I feel really good for my age. I'm a little heavier than I usually am right now, but
fatty.
I was just
paddling season.
Shawn loves calling me fat. Yeah, paddling season's here. I was just out for a 2-hour mountain bike this morning and had my ass handed to me by an older, fitter guy.
Oh yeah.
Always humbling.
I do a bit of hiking, and man, it's nothing but geezers out there, and they're fit as fuck. You know.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, because they're doing it every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah. Every day.
Well, that's us.
If you're old and out of shape, you're probably dead or you're in a fucking hospital. So
in a wheelie chair.
Yeah.
But I hit the pool actually last week for like the first time in a long time, and man, I forgot how hard swimming was.
The last time I did that, I jumped in, thought, I'll do a few laps while I'm here. And I got like down the end of it and halfway back and just had to head to the edge. Like that was it. I didn't even get a full lap in, I don't think.
Lap and a half.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Amazing.
I remember when I was a kid, I could swim 40 laps. Now I'd probably be the
40
same.
laps.
A lap,
Wow.
lap and a half. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lungs.
Yeah.
So I can't swim. I can barely swim a lap anymore, but now I can do 25 pull-ups. So that's cool.
Oh yeah, that's a house on fire. 25's no joke.
Yeah.
That's like one, take a break. One, take a break.
I got videos, bro. That's me actually. That's me doing them after an hour plus of like actual live sparring.
Like consecutive, or are we talking sets here?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll hit like 12, 13. I'll drop down, shake my hands out, and jump right back up again.
Wow.
So,
It's like
good for you.
Not 25 over a week.
Yeah.
Not to be fucked with.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right. So, Black and Blue. Now you're tattooing.
No,
Well, hold on, Albert.
What?
Albert owned Black and Blue, right?
Yes.
Like you apprenticed
I
at the shop.
apprenticed
You
at
ended
the
up owning.
shop. It wasn't always my shop. So Albert Kane is the guy who taught me, and taught Russell and Candace, who have been mentioned already, and a number of others. But and Joel, who was mentioned as well. And then he apprenticed. Joel came on a little bit later. He was a few years after Candace and I. And then Albert had a business partner he wanted to be not business partners with anymore. So liquidating the shop was sort of the answer, and I kind of happened to have the means at the time. I rolled the dice a bit. I had to sort of put up my house as equity, to sort of make the deal happen. But it paid off in the end. It was fantastic run. But that was 2010, so that was probably is that true? 2010, I started, about 5 years from my apprenticeship to owning the shop, I guess. So, man, it seemed like longer, when it was happening, but man, that was just no time in. That was a quick transition. But, it worked out good. Yeah.
Yeah, but you weren't like some some new kid who was 22 years
No.
old, or
Yeah.
you know, you started later, you're more mature, you've established, you built your home, like literally, you know, family and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. That's a little bit different.
Yeah. My apprenticeship was quick too, because Albert, I think, recognized here's a dude that's got a family, wants to feed his kids, and is ready to rock and roll, you know, and like didn't put me through the stuff that a lot of apprentices go through, or did then anyways. You know, I was up and running pretty quick, like under 6 months. I bet I was tattooing regular people in the door, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, so he didn't put me. I mean, I still did a bit. I made needles and I mopped and I answered phones, but it was pretty quick. He was pretty easy on me, recognizing that I could get rolling and make him some money right fast, right?
Yeah.
You did have some kind of art background though, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I always had a natural ability since even kindergarten. I kind of stood out from the other kids as far as drawing ability. But I kind of, yeah, and then I didn't take high school art till grade 12, 11 or 12. I was in the band, the concert band. I don't know what it is, like.
Nerd.
What did you play? What was your instrument?
A trumpet.
Oh, cool instrument. That's
Could have
cool.
been worse. Could have been worse.
Could have been triangle.
Could have been a clarinet.
Yeah.
To see you rocking a clarinet.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anyways, and then I after high school, I took a year off and worked. I was a roofer, and then I went to what is now Vancouver Island University. It was Malaspina College in Nanaimo. I live, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm on Vancouver Island in the Nanaimo area, south of Nanaimo. I always have been and always will be, I think. Anyways, I went did a couple of years of fine arts there at the university college. Then I gave up after a couple. I got 2 years, the first 2 years worth of credits in 3 years kind of thing, because I had to work and stuff to make it happen. I didn't come from money, so it was all coming out of my pocket. And I just kind of looked at it like, am I going to be an art teacher? What am I going to do with an art degree, right? Like, I got not coming from money. I needed to earn, right, and to live. And I just thought, where are the paths forward with this to paying work? And I didn't. Graphic arts was new then. That was an avenue. I part of me, if I could go back in time, might have explored. That said, I ended up in a fantastic place, but it took me a lot longer to find something, just on my own. But graphic arts was just coming in then. It was 93, that stuff was new. And it was like, what the hell's graphic arts? I don't know what that is. I just did fine arts, and then I gave up, and I just got regular work, and I maybe did a painting or something arty once every couple years for a decade at least, and hardly touched anything. And then let me think, what spawned. Well, sort of having people sort of bug you to tattoo them long enough, and sort of poked, and then just sort of Albert letting me in the door was awesome, but I wasn't quite serious. Didn't really know anything about. I mean, I wasn't obsessed with tattooing. I kind of fell into it. Like, some people are driven to be in the industry, and you guys, for instance, right, or we're sort of driven to sort of.
No, actually, I fell into it.
Did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Totally.
It was the same. My friends, not only did my friends bug me so much to tattoo them, they chipped in and bought my equipment.
There you go. Yeah.
And then I was just tattooing them.
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of tattoos at a young age. Like, I had my sleeves by the time I was 17, but I was getting tattooed by the guys at Lower East Side, and Stu K was still driving cab at night. So I'm in my brain, I'm like, I'm a dumb 17-year-old tattooing my buddies. I'm not going to make a living out of this. There's no way I can make a living out of this when this grown man who owns a tattoo shop is doing another job, right?
Yeah.
So I never thought, and it just slowly, and that was right when the first kind of new wave of tattooing kind of kicked in, right? And I just landed in the right shop, New Tribe. We were the new young happening shop that wasn't scary for all the people to come into.
Is
and
that
stuff.
Toronto?
So, yeah, Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah, so,
wild. That was.
Yeah. But I just want to jump on Albert for 1 second, because he's apprenticed a lot of people, and you're all really fucking good.
Yeah.
So he clearly had an eye for talent.
All the ones that you know are really good. He had some duds.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I don't know how many he's done overall, but I mean, like, he started you guys, all of you Black and Blue crew, and then like we just had Luna on.
Yeah.
She got her foot in the door with Albert and stuff. So a lot of really talented people have made their way through the mentorship of Albert. So
yeah,
kind of cool.
Legit, man,
kinda
for
cool.
sure.
So,
yeah. And I mean, I bet you he's still batting over 500, like he's, I could think of 3 or 4 that didn't make it, but man, there's, like you just mentioned, there's 5 or 6 of us that are doing pretty good. Yeah, man, he for me, he was a great mentor, because he, at least for me, and I think for most of us, he gives a lot of freedom artistically. Like, it's not like Trace, Jerry, Flash. It's not, none of that traditional kind of stuff. It's just start drawing, start tattooing, and make your way from there and sort of mold. Part of me wishes I had a little more of that traditional kind of stuff beat into me, but man, the freedom though, like, he was all, he never really cares personally what other people are doing. He does his thing. It's very, very him. His work is very him. I could spot it from a mile away. And he's never cared what other people are doing. He just focuses on how to do it the best he can in his way. And he tried to instill that in us too, I think. And I think he did a pretty good job of that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like he was picking people that had like an art background, right? So that's why I think he was giving you more of a freedom. Whereas like I keep picking people that are no artists. Like
this guy.
First Michael, then Dave, and then one that didn't really work out. Still tattooing, but for me, like, I don't think came to the full potential that I really saw in that person. And then now I have Derek, and he's not an artist, So it's like, trace this Ryan Gagne flash, tattoo it, paint it exactly the same until you can learn why he's doing certain shit. I'm not an art teacher. I'll teach you how to tattoo. You're going to kind of have to figure out the artistic stuff on your own. And I think for me, it's like, now he's starting to like mirror copy people's stuff. And through that, I think he'll be able to find his own way. But he's going to be like a lot of other 30-year-olds getting into tattooing. He's only going to want to tattoo traditional shit anyway.
There's a place for that now. You can do that.
100%.
If I were to try that
not when I started.
Even when I did it in 05 or 06 or whatever, like, you better be able to do more than traditional if you want to fucking not eat cat food, in Nanaimo. Like you got to be able to do it when they walk in and draw it while they're sitting in the lobby, and that was a great way to come up too, I think, and then it just exploded, like tattooing exploded. I caught a real wave there getting into it. Like you guys, I'm sure remember, because you were already in stride then, but it blew up, right? Like late 2000s.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It was like every 5 years, right? It's like 90-ish, kind of a little wave. And then 94 was kind of a big wave for a couple years. And then early 2000s.
Yeah.
And then again, a little later 2000s. We keep having these like waves of like, it can't get any more popular.
Yeah.
And then it's like, holy fuck, it's more popular.
Yeah.
It can't get any more popular. Holy fuck, it's more popular.
Yeah.
Which is good. It keeps us old guys busy, right? So
well, now the popularity is becoming a tattooer.
Yeah.
That might be the final wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the wave is just keeps building into a tsunami, and it just doesn't seem to be stopping, eh? Like, maybe it's mellowed a little bit, but just thinking about how many artists are in it now and getting into it still, it just seems like there's a new artist popping up every 5 minutes.
So I just moved into a building. On the north-facing side of the building, there's a tattoo shop. On the east side of the same building, there's a tattoo shop. Same building, 3 units apart. Like
Wow.
just one on one side, one on the other.
That was like Lower East Side and Highway 2 Tattoo and Scarborough. Like
That
Bruce
was
and
different though,
Stu
because that was a split.
The only thing separating those two shops was the Harley dealers.
Yeah, but that was a split of partnership.
Oh yeah,
and not a good one, right?
No.
So that's what I mean. So that was more of a spite thing. This is more of just this is what's happening. Shops are just like opening everywhere. Nobody even thinks about like stepping on toes. It's just like the spot's available.
Yeah, it's like it's like used clothing stores or something now. It just doesn't matter. You free for all. So, but
well. Last time I visited with Bill Baker, he put it this way, and he's like, there's gonna be like a fresh cuts, super cuts, all those cheap hair dressing places all over, but there's still gonna be high end hair salons always. That's what tattooing's becoming that.
Yeah.
The magic cuts, all these regular cookie cutter, can't really step it up kind of shops. And then there's all, the hairstylists, the Vidal Sassoons, the Rob Noseworthys.
Wow, Vidal Sassoon.
I wish I had a dollar for every time I've been segued with Vidal Sassoon.
I'm going to use that in the podcast intro. It's going to be the Vidal Sassoon of tattooing.
Do it. Oh my God. Can we get an AI deep fake of Rob as a Vidal Sassoon model?
Oh, that was... I don't know if we have the budget for that, but I'll just Photoshop it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk more tattooing.
Okay. What do you want to know?
So, well, yeah, now you ended up buying the shop 5 years in.
Yeah. It was good. I mean, it was pretty seamless. I think everyone was happy. Albert stayed on for a good year, maybe 2 years, a year or two, and then he moved to Duncan and has got a modern tradition there. He's where Luna started there, and he's apprenticed a few and has got a little crew going there. I just kept chugging along with the crew. Everyone stayed on, and then Bart moved down to Victoria. Bart Vandereyden came with the shop.
That's right.
He moved down to Victoria, and Dave Nicholson was with us for a while. He was a great guy, but professionally kind of needed to part ways. I love him to pieces, but he's a powerhouse that ended up, I think, in a better place anyways. Like private studio is the best place for Dave. I think he can do his thing, and his clients understand it, and they know what they're getting into, and he makes magic. I tell you, that guy is a magician.
Yeah.
I worked with that guy in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. He's still the same guy. I bet you nothing.
Same guy.
Nothing has changed. Yeah.
Same guy. Yeah.
He's got a big heart, and his talent for illustration is just.
He's one of the rawest illustrators. I think I told him once, like, I put him up there with Steve as far as like natural given ability to illustrate. Like he's there. He just does it differently than Steve. Obviously, no one does it like Steve. Steve's got the crazy concepts and intellect to go with his insane abilities, and Dave does too. It just happens in a different way, But he's it's natural.
One's zen, one's chaos.
I've never seen a natural. I never worked with a natural illustrator like him before. Like it was awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, he is mad chaos.
Mad chaos. Yeah.
Yeah. Loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an adventure.
It's
awesome.
an adventure. It was a thrilling couple years. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I got to experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think who else? Genghis Shawn from Victoria. He moved up to join the crew for a couple years. He kind of come in at a tough time. COVID just kind of hit right after, and he was hoping to do bigger Japanese work and he kind of was just picking up the dregs and not really getting the work he wanted. And I think he got homesick too. Like, he's a city boy. He's a fancy kid. And, Nanaimo's not fancy. So,
No.
so he didn't last forever. He moved home, but, it's all been, I've always had good partings, at the shop. Bobby, same thing. He moved down to do his venture with Miles, and I'm sure his life is better for it, and I love it. You guys have been there, I presume. Have you been to Tech?
Not yet.
No, this July I'll make it out for a visit.
You got to have a look. Yeah, it's an awesome space. I did a few days there, and just felt like a home. It just felt like home, and they're such warm and kind hosts that. If you get a chance, get down there. Yeah.
I'll be dropping in at the end of July when I drive out to the Nanaimo. I'll actually be in Nanaimo at the beginning of August. So.
Oh, cool.
Beginning of August, I should be around. Yeah.
So I won't have much time, but I would definitely love to see you.
Yeah.
Grab a coffee. Same as when you came to Edmonton for that wedding. Pop in for a quick hello.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Kind of similar. Yeah.
How do we get you to Kelowna?
What's that?
How do we get you to Kelowna for a quick coffee or a long hug?
Let me think. I'm gonna be in the Okanagan in the summer. My wife's family is doing a reunion. I can't remember the dates, Dave, but I'll see if I can add a day and swing up that way.
Let me know.
I feel like it's maybe in the South Okanagan, like Armstrong-y kind of area, but
I got a van.
You got a van.
I can drive. Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to tattooing.
Yeah.
No one needs to hear about our.
No one wants to hear us.
Well, are you doing the Okanagan? Are you doing the Okanagan Tattoo Convention?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't. No. I don't have plans to, anyways. At this point, I think I'm going to do.
Are you doing any conventions?
I'll be in Winnipeg. So shit. Yeah, that'll be after. That's mid-August, so I don't think it'll overlap with your time on the island. But I actually Rich posed doing a seminar on dragons. Do a dragon seminar, so I might do that.
Oh, killer!
Cool.
So
record it, please.
Record it. Yeah. So, I could barely get this thing on and get my face on it.
I can help you for a free copy.
There you go. Are you going to be? Are you guys going to be in Winnipeg?
No.
Yeah.
Can be.
Oh man.
I don't know. Maybe I can rip out. I'm going to Austin first week of September, but
Sick.
Yeah, who knows? We could see.
Doing?
I haven't made it up to Rich's show, so it'd be great to actually come out and just
totally.
to even come out and hang out.
It's busy. It's busy.
I'd love to support that.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious about. I can only imagine what it was like when Steve Moore moved to town. Like that's as an up and coming artist, you're super dedicated, you're talented, and then that guy moves in just down the street from you, opens a private studio. What kind of effect did that have on you?
Well, it's like winning the lottery for tattooing, right? Like fuck. Yeah, all of our idols. All of us. He's our idol, pretty much. I'd say. If he's not your idol, you're doing something wrong. And he moves literally up the street. It was like I couldn't believe.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, like anyone who doesn't know, like my shop is downtown, and it was. You could almost see it. You could just about throw a rock and hit his private studio from my shop, and man, it changed everything. Yeah, like, well, and Rich was started his back piece just after Steve moved to town. I didn't know Steve from, I've never met him before then, right? But I knew Rich, and Rich stayed with me when he flew out from Winnipeg to get tattooed by Steve, and so it was kind of a foot in the door to come up and hang out and sort of introduce myself and hang around and kind of soak it in a bit. And, everyone who's had a chance to sort of be in Steve's workspace understands the impact that has, his drawings on the wall and his demeanor and his vibe is just, it's magical. And that was the start of a relationship that I cherish, and then I soon after convinced him. He didn't take any convincing, but I got a leg sleeve from him. And so sort of getting tattooed from him is obviously a game changer. And I did that as quick as I could when he got to town, right? Like as soon as I could, I got him to get me into his appointment books, and not look.
Yeah, that Kieran is crazy. That Kieran leg is crazy.
Yeah.
It's so funny. You can't see, but your wife just kind of came into the screen in the background, and then she like stopped, and it was like the tiptoe backwards, like just like total Monty Python skit. That was awesome.
Totally looked at the
That's
camera.
why we started laughing. So.
No.
Oh, that was amazing. Well, that's how I kind of got to know you a little bit more, actually, is because me, when I was going and visiting and staying with Steve, I'd get bored staying in there. So I'd walk down to Black and Blue, and then you came up and we were just talking to Steve. And then I was just like, you want to do a tattoo? And then that's when you did my little peekaboo Oni on my neck.
No.
Right. So that's how my foot got into the door with you, was through Steve, actually. And then I started coming out and doing guest spots at Black and Blue. So something I'm always been very grateful for you taking me in. So
Steve was
great.
Back to that part of it, like having Steve in town, like a good percentage of his clients are tattooers and good ones, you know, so he was a magnet for bringing talented people through up the street. And, you know, he was great, I think, about sending them down to the shop to check it out. And people I met tons of awesome tattooers just through him being up the street. And every chance I got, especially when he first opened, he probably was so sick of me, but I would take advantage of his kindness. And, you know, it was like, oh, I'm going to come up and hang out for a while. Is that okay? And I'd be there all the time. Every of us off, you know, I finished a tattoo, I'd fucking book it up the street and see what he was up to. Pretend I was just popping in, and, you know, and oh, wow. You know, I was there all the time. But I think he grew to love me. I'm a little overbearing for his personality, I think. But I think he grew to love me, and we had a lot of laughs. But yeah.
You're overbearing. That poor guy had to work with me for years.
Oh, the whole cast of overbearing personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
What
This is Steve's personality.
One.
And then there's me.
Yeah. And then
just a fucking tornado into the shop every day.
I'm sure you've heard his stories of his coming up with Ace. I mean, how different personality type. I mean, like, what was that guy? What possessed Steve to go to that shop and you know, and work with those crazy dudes? You know, like, I mean,
opportunity.
It's fantastic. I guess it was his only opportunity, right? Like that was what he had to do to do what he does, and he took it. But
yeah, it was great. So like, I don't know if most people haven't read his interview in that book that I never published, but he talks about that. He talks about, you can get a free copy of it off of Champion Tattoo's Facebook page. You can download the whole 375 pages of a flash book with interviews.
You can?
And
oh, sick.
Yeah. And his interview is great because he talks about that time, because he never really talked about that stuff before. So he talked about his time at Way Cool and everything. And then he talked about how when he left Way Cool, how he had to leave Toronto.
Right.
And I think most people, when they read that, they're like, most people that I gave that book to, they would text me and be like, wait, what do you mean he had to leave? And I'm like, oh yeah, no, he wasn't allowed to work in the city anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of people he worked for. And I'm like, this wasn't the 70s or 80s. This was mid 90s. Hey, I think I'm going to move on. Cool. Move on from the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beat it. Yeah.
Right. So,
Fucking Vancouver.
We don't need to tell you why.
The West Coast kind of won one there, didn't they?
Well, yeah, because we had Aaron Kane in Whistler, right? So that was Steve just straight shotted that, ended up in Whistler working with Aaron.
What a duo. Yeah.
So what kind of things did you pick up from Steve? Like, you're visiting all the time. You must have been soaking up everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never seen anybody prepare like that guy does. And I still don't. I mean, I didn't learn the lesson well enough to actually do it, but I know I should. I know what I should do, which is prepare, you know?
What does that mean? Some people who are listening have never seen his preparation.
Like having a full value study drawing, almost full size, not always full size, but often big, you know, like, and sometimes full size value study prepared ahead of time. Like I get to the fucking, I get slide in the door with line work every time still, right? I think most of us do, right? Just for time constraint, but he doesn't sacrifice, or he sacrifices time to get that value study there. And I learned that every time I do that, I shouldn't say it's every time with the line work for me. I have learned some of that from him, that I do try to get a game plan on the illustrative stuff. The Japanese stuff, it's easier because it's formulaic, right? But for the illustrative stuff, I do try to get a value study, just so, like, when you're working, you're so much faster and efficient. You're just like, this is what it takes to know black goes there, instead of like, fuck, okay, if I have a shadow there, what's going on there? You're not thinking it through on the person's skin. It's done. That work is done. You just got to go glance and you know exactly what to do, right? It's so stress-free doing a complex piece when you have a value study done. But his preparation, I mean, beyond his creativity and his drawing ability and all that, I mean, that's just obvious, shell shock, of sensory overload with that, and inspiration. But beyond that, his work ethic, his preparation. His preparation is crazy.
Yeah, he had that in the early 90s when I worked with him.
I don't doubt it.
Like, it was crazy. And it's, something maybe hopefully one day I might start.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I thought
I'm still drawing morning of.
I thought with the sort of semi-retirement here, I'd have all kinds of time, and I'm gonna sort of really prepare for my jobs and stuff. No, it hasn't happened. No. I just fuck around in the yard instead, my pajamas, and yeah.
Are you still beekeeping?
No bees. They're toughed over winter, and they just kept dying on us, so we kind of gave up. Lots of other people in the area have huge bee, whatever you call it, beehives, and there's bees everywhere. So we kind of relaxed on that, but and actually no birds, no. We had ducks for a while, no ducks, no chickens. We had chickens for a while, but predators get them, and then it's kind of a chore if you want to go on a holiday. You got to find someone willing to feed your fucking chickens, and So now it's just a dog and a cat. I wish they'd die so we could fucking go, camper van.
And Rob's canceled.
Yeah. Fucking cat and dog people are gonna be all over you.
Oh man!
If they could see me, I fucking the biggest suck. That dog is like
I
talk baby talk to him. Oh, it's bad.
Oh my god. Your place is amazing. I always love visiting there. If viewers can see your yard and everything, but your house and just the layout and everything, you're in a great spot.
We scored, man. Yeah, it was 2001 when we bought the property and built the house, the first house, and it was before the market here on the island. I don't know if it was everywhere in Canada, wherever you guys were, but in 01. Let's say 02, even maybe 03, fucking the market just went. So we got in before it was crazy expensive, and it was the only reason we could have done it. Like, a few years past, we might, who knows where we would have ended up living, but we scored this bit of property and built a house when it was affordable, and it's sort of made life easy ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar to Rob Hope.
Yeah, right.
Got in at the right time, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh man,
God damn.
it's
yeah. So let's just go back and so you're tattooing. When did you start doing like conventions? What was your first convention? Do you remember?
Abbotsford.
Oh, Abbotsford was your first convention.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was. At that show, man, I was like a star, like a kid in a can. I gotten to know Jamer a bit. Russell made inroads with the Government Street guys. He was super motivated back then in the tattoo industry to get to know people, and sort of he got me on the Adam Sky's forum, Tattoodos.
Reed Street.
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't. That was
that. It was the remake of Reed Street.
Yeah, Yeah, the worst name. I don't know what the story is with that, but the cheesiest title. Anyways, it was awesome though. But Russell got me on that, and as Shawn will attest to, I'm a little late to the game with the technical stuff, let's say, and so being on a forum was sort of something different for me. But he got me sort of interested. Albert, like I say, back to Albert, was sort of like blinders on, just did his thing, so he didn't care who was doing what, but Russell did. And Russell was like, man, check this stuff out. Like you can put your, tattoos on here. They'll get critiqued, and, you meet other people in the industry. Maybe you can do guest spots. And all that was like out of my whatever, my mind, and, but it kind of started, Russell helped me sort of open my mind to the bigger picture of tattooing. And anyways, he made inroads with, back to, I'm getting off track, the Government Street guys. I got to know Jamer a bit, and later Chris as well. Anyways, we went and did the convention because they encouraged us to, and we got a booth next to them, and I got to meet all kinds of people that I've become good friends with. Shawn was there. I never met Steve. Steve, as you guys know, he's a little tougher of a nut to crack. Like, he's not going around to booths and introducing himself. He's just I think it's safe to say he deals with a bit of anxiety, so he's very much keeps
he's got work to do.
He's got work to do, and he needs to get it, and he does what he needs to do to get through that weekend without going insane. So, anyways, I met him. I saw him, and I was like, I didn't introduce myself. I poked around his booth, and sort of tried to see what he was doing and all that. But met Rich at that show. Who else was there? Shawn,
Safwan, Rob Job,
Lucas and Ryan were just down the aisle.
Halter, yeah.
I was right beside you.
Dave was there.
You guys saved my ass. You and Russ saved my ass because I'd come down from Kelowna and forgotten almost everything. I borrowed almost all my supplies out of your booth.
Had we met before, Dave? I can't remember.
No, that was the first time we'd met.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. I had duct tape for a banner because I had my banner.
Piot Barker was there.
Clint, I think, was there.
Clint was there. He had a huge booth, and then there was a guy right across from him that was selling forgeries of his artwork.
Of Clint's?
Yes.
I remember that.
It was crazy. We'll talk about that. We have Clint on in a few weeks.
Yeah.
We definitely have to talk about that. Because like Clint sets up and it's like you look across and it's like,
wait a second.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Straight up forgeries.
Wow.
Like, hilarious.
That guy must have been like, oh no, are you serious?
Oh my God, yeah.
I can't remember who else was there, but it was.
There was so many people. It was funny because I hadn't seen Acro was there, and Acro was there, and he was doing this huge like script sleeve on a guy, and he just tattooed with his back to the crowd.
Huh.
And the only thing he had on his table was the line drawing of what he was tattooing, but you couldn't even see what he was doing.
Wow.
That's awesome. And then he bought one of my shirts and he wore it on the Saturday, and I sold out of shirts by Sunday.
Wow.
It was the best.
Wicked.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Did he have that stencil shirt at that show? Was that show? He did like looked like a stencil.
I think that was later.
Purple. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that was later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, he had nothing. He didn't even have business cards.
Oh wow.
He worked right beside Steve Moore. And he tattooed with his back to the crowd, and that was it. And I'm pretty sure he only tattooed on the Saturday.
He's been hitting another gear lately. I feel like, bro, he's turned it on. Like, he's always been crazy talented, but I feel like he's lately just changed gears. Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a huge show. That was a real eye opener to what tattooing can be all about, and the fun and you know, that one blew my mind pretty huge. Yeah, that was an awesome show.
Yeah.
And then you know,
Yeah,
it just kind of just started, you know, Calgary. I did Calgary. I got to know Steve soon after that. I think must have been, man, it's so weird to think of the timelines are so short, like back then. And he was, how long ago it was that he moved to town, and then he's gone again, of course. But I did Calgary maybe a couple.
Calgary, that would have been, it was a couple years later. And I did that show with me and Steve had a booth. We shared a hotel and a booth that weekend.
Yeah.
That was super fun. And yeah, because he was living on the island still at that
was
time.
Was he? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was still on the island. Yeah. And that was super fun.
I remember I had a booth sort of across from Hedley at the first Calgary show I did, and I was kind of starstruck as James was there, and I never met James before. And you know, James is, you know, intimidating, icy stare. Like I didn't have the stones to sort of to bug him too much, you know. But I do remember I went up to the booth when it was quiet, and you know, there's a little kid behind the booth, pretty much, and went to get a shirt, bought a shirt, and I was like, oh yeah, thanks. He's like, oh, my name's Anthony Tex. And I was like, oh, Anthony Tex, is it? And he had to be in maybe 18 or something like that. And he was well, at whatever age he was when he apprenticed, because I think he was apprenticing at the time. But it was pretty cool to see James, like he was pumping out like winning every day at the Tattoo of the Day, you know, kind of stuff, right? Like he still does to this day. Cleans up all the awards for at the shows and stuff, and he was get to see some of his tattoos in the flesh. Like I'd only seen pictures and stuff, right? So that was pretty awesome. But I never did meet him that show. And then I did Saskatoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, never really spoke to him. He's got a lot on the go, and it's his town, right? And he's got a lot of people to visit with, and he's not making friends there, right? Probably, you know, very much, right?
Yeah.
And then Saskatoon. You know, he introduced himself to me and booked an appointment for the show. I tattooed his chest. I'd never met him before, and he asked me to tattoo him. And I was like, I phoned the wife's like, oh my God, I got to tattoo James Tex tomorrow. I don't know what the fuck to do. I was panicked, right? But I was just kind of pretending like he was just a plumber or, you know, just anybody else, and just try not to get too worked up about it. But I was pretty nervous. It was pretty nerve-wracking. And that started a friendship that we're pretty close. I speak to James quite frequently and text all the time, and spend as much time as I can with him. He's as you guys know, he's a ball of energy and an awesome guy, and nothing but inspiring. He's helped me take another level with my work that would have been there without him, I would say, safely.
Yeah. Yeah, we just were fortunate. We also got to see James this past weekend.
The show, how was the show?
Yeah, saw the whole family. Yeah. Show was fun. Yeah, show was fun.
I haven't listened to Ali's,
everybody was tattooing.
I haven't listened to Ali's podcast with you guys yet, but I intend to. I'm sure that was a lot of laughs. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah,
it was she's fun. Great.
Yeah. So then we just did a mini one. We were at the show. We just did 5 mini podcasts while we were there. So one was with Ali. We just touched base with Ali again. We did, and then we talked to Anthony for the first time.
Oh, sick.
The show, and then of course we'll do a long form. Then we did Shan, Rob Job, my friend Yura.
Oh, Yura, the one that I tattooed.
Yeah, you know, the one that you tattooed. Yeah.
I haven't seen her in years.
Yeah, so good. Yeah. She's still plugging away, working at a private studio.
Okay. She was at Urge.
Yeah, that's where she started at Urge 3 here. Yeah.
What happened to that big guy?
Urge 2.
That laser guy just died, eh?
Yeah. Unfortunately, he passed.
Yeah, that was very sudden. So he looked like a healthy guy.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah. So yeah. Very unfortunate event, that's for sure. Yeah, missed by many, that's for sure. So yeah. So what was Abbotsford was your first tattoo convention? What was your first guest spot? What was the first time you step foot into another person's studio.
Stepped into another studio probably would have been.
Well, and worked.
Oh, and worked.
Yeah, like guest spot.
Jesus Christ! I know I did Riches fairly early. That was one of my first, but I don't know if it was my first. I think it might have been. No, Rob Job. Salmon Arm Pins Tattoo. Russell, I met Rob fairly early on at the show, actually, and like you say, probably that was probably our first meeting at the Abbotsford show. And then he would he would come down to the island. He was friends with Jamer, of course, and he'd be down on the island, and somehow Russell kind of got the notion to. Rob invited us openly to come whenever we wanted up there, and Russell got the idea to go up there and actually take him up on it, and he sort of pushed me out the door to go with him, and I'm glad I did. It was awesome. We worked hard. It was a blazing hot shoe swap summer, and worked hard, and he's such a great host, of course, and so welcoming and all that. I got a low battery mode. I got to find my charger. Fuck. 10%. Let's ride it out.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
we'll ride it out. If we have to do a part 2 later on, we do a part 2 later on.
So I want to get this, since we're on the guest spot topic. I know you've done some pretty incredible guest spots, and the one that always blew my mind was Skull and Sword.
Yeah, it blew my mind too.
I bet.
Yeah, that was just like I had to show the wife my phone, like my inbox on Instagram, the grime, and he was like, "Hey man, I really like your work. You should come down and do a guest spot." And I just about fucking had a heart attack. Like I thought I was like, is this happening? Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, how the fuck did that happen? I still don't understand.
Well, he heard you tattoo. He heard you tattoo James Tex.
Yeah, exactly.
Might have been, but yeah, like I still live in dreamland. That relationship came about in some bizarre reality. I don't know how I manifested that, but he invited me down. I of course accepted, whilst simultaneously wanting to die of nerves and shit my pants and all that. But I said, fuck it, and booked it about a year later, or sort of as soon as I could. When I don't know, I'm borderline anxious as I get older. And so booking a trip like that is kind of a big deal in my world. And it took me a little while. It took me just about a year, but I finally organized it and went down, and it was the fucking raddest thing ever, of course. I mean, you think this guy's a ball of energy and sort of, I'm not going to say elite. What's the word for that? But he's just very got strong opinions about stuff. And you just think, holy fuck, how is this going to be? But he was like the most welcoming, easygoing, fun, hilarious, just regular dude. When you meet your idols, you don't know what to think. And, so far I've been blessed, like with meeting my idols, and they just exceed expectations. And he is definitely in that category, highly in that category of just being a regular, awesome dude that just did his best to make you welcome there, and was super supportive. And I ended up doing, I think it was the first time I went down, I ended up doing a collab with him. One of the clients that I got said, "Hey, I'd like to make this a collab with Grime if he's into it." And I asked him, I said, "Well, fuck, it probably ain't going to happen, buddy, but I'll ask him, And he's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And I was like, "Okay, fuck." And yeah, we drew it together, and fucking, it was the first one was at Skull and Sword. The first time I went down to San Francisco, and Henry was working there, Lango, Andre Malcolm. I think that was it, but like fucking awesome tattooers to get to be around for a few days. And I got to know Henry then, and formed a relationship, and Andre were great. And Lango wasn't around a lot, and he was in a bit of a rough headspace, so I didn't really spend a lot of time with Lango, but he was there. just formed relationships with these guys, you know, and Henry ended up coming to the shop, you know, and up here at Black and Blue. And that was amazing for the shop. Like to get a heavy hitter like that coming through is pretty huge. But man, I mean, just you can guess it. Inspirational, like just awesome, really awesome experience. And then I went back a couple years later to Seventh Son this time because Grime had moved to Seventh Son and closed the shop. And he has like a sort of you come into the main shop, it's huge shop. And then upstairs is sort of a little side stair and a little kind of weird little room at the top. And Grime has his own room up there, kind of sub Seventh Son, let's say. That's sort of a mini Skull and Sword.
Sixth Son.
Yeah. But I missed Luke. Luke Stewart's one of my inspirations, of course. And
dude,
he happened to be away the week I was there. So I didn't get to cross up with him, but Henry was there. I spoke to Henry and tried to overlap with him because he was coming and going from LA to Seventh Son at that time, and sort of overlapped with him and got to spend time. And I've gotten to know, actually, back to that first Calgary show I did, who was right next to us was the Seventh Son booth with Jeff Croce was there, Joey Armstrong, and Nick Chaboya. Wow. And I have a story about that. I don't know if it's kind of a shit talk story, so I don't know if I'll get into it.
Yeah,
not a great.
You can if you want.
Not a great experience with him, anyways. He was a real fucking high on himself, kind of a. Yeah, I didn't have a good experience with him, but
not in tattooing. Not a tattooer with an attitude.
Boy. Yeah, no doubt. He's the epitome of that. Anyway, in my experience, that one experience, maybe he's a lovely guy. I don't know. But I got to know Jeff and Joey, and those two dudes are so cool. We ended up going out for supper with them, inviting them along because there are a couple Americans in this room full of Canadians, right? Like they didn't know many people there, and they were stoked to sort of have some people, bring them out to a restaurant, and we did a Japanese restaurant. It was super cool and just got to know them over the weekend. And then so a lasting relationship, especially with Jeff. When I went back down there, I hung out with him a lot, went to his house and hung out and spent more time with him. And then Jeff ended up coming up to the shop as well, doing a guest spot at Black and Blue and staying here and got to show him around. So another San Francisco connection that I cherish. But man, what a city. Have you guys been? I'm assuming you've been.
Yeah.
Just the coolest place. I mean, it's also crazy and, tons of homeless and it's kind of a shithole, but it's a wonderful shithole, and
yeah.
I was there when it was less of a shithole, I guess. So I was there in the late 90s.
Yeah.
With Steve Moore, myself, and a couple other people. We all went down for the tattoo convention.
Sick. So. Oh, that show. I would love to go to that show one day. Legendary. Yeah.
So do those experiences going to shops like that and working with people like that, do they have a big effect on your output and the way you work, or are you more like how you were brought up under Albert where you just focus on your own thing? Like does this stuff creep into your work, or are you good at keeping it at bay and staying true to yourself?
I'd say yeah, I don't know. That's such a tough. It's almost like you need someone else's perspective to know that. But I'm sure it sinks in and creeps in a ton of ways. But I don't pointedly come away like trying to work like another person. If that helps answer it. Like I think I just kind of go back to doing my thing. But it certainly has massive influence. And I mean, I was already influenced by Grime hugely before I went down there. Like, I've been biting his stuff forever. So his sort of illustrative style really suits, a lot of what I do with texture and stuff like that. But no, just getting fired up on tattooing in general is usually what I take away from it. Like direct influence from a given artist, not so much, I don't think. But I mean, man, being in a room with Henry and they have in Skull and Sword, they had like a sort of little kitchen table kind of thing and a little sort of lunchroomy thing on the side, on the corner of the shop. And it literally like a kitchen table with chairs all around, and they'd sit down and they'd be hashing out their stuff for the day and like, what do you think of this? And passing their drawings back and forth and fucking going over. And man, that shop was crazy for like collaborative sort of
I miss that kind of environment.
Crazy, man. Like and just like no holds barred either too. Like, and Grime was sort of the quarterback, of course, and he'd be like, no, you can't do that. Like you fucking grab it and fucking and give it back, and they'd be yeah, that's fucking awesome. And like just witnessing that was so cool. Like that was pretty mind blowing. Like that's influential. It's harder when you're in a small, like in Nanaimo, like, and with our crew, you're doing just a lot of what we're doing is, it was different for me after a while, but like what you're doing is just mundane, normal tattoos. Like, it's not like you're fucking doing up this back piece and so that kind of stuff wasn't as, we do a little, but it wasn't like every day, like in Skull and Sword, it was like every fucking morning they're like sending out this crazy shit and passing it around. And yeah, it was pretty electric. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's the hugest guest spot experience. And I'll go back. I still keep in touch with Henry and Grime and Jeff, and I'm gonna go back. I'm due for another trip. I was almost thinking this year would be a good year. Maybe in the fall I'll go back down and do a guest spot and try to hook up with Luke this time, because I really do love what that guy does, and he seems like a really cool dude. But the first year I went down, I met George Campese was hanging around. I met Jeff picked me up from the airport, and also picked up Jason Kundell. What a fuck! I love that guy so much. And we went out for dim sum at his favorite, because Jeff had already moved to Portland, so he was just visiting San Francisco, and he went down to to Chinatown to his favorite dim sum, and then took me to the secret, it's not that secret, but the bookstore in Chinatown where all the awesome reference books
We've been there.
Have you? Yeah.
Been there.
It's no secret, but it's kind of, I think people pretend it's a secret, but they took me to the awesome bookstore, and so that was pretty cool. And I got to know Jason a little bit, and I'm going to go do a guest spot there as well. I've been talking with him a little bit on text, and not to I hate when people sound name droppy, but just as far as
you're totally nailing it, don't worry.
Yeah, you brought it up, okay? I didn't bring it up.
I just baited you.
Yeah. But anyways,
and my best friend Grime and my best friend Jeff.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm hugely influenced by Kundell's work. I don't know if you guys follow his stuff, but I just love it to pieces. And he's a really nice guy. One of those guys, you meet your idols and they're cooler than you expected, and super nice. And Campese, same thing. He's super cool, and all those guys were so normal and not cliquey. And I popped into Juan Puente, another guy I want to name drop. Name drop, but only because he's the kindest man in tattooing. Like, he's just the coolest, nicest dude. Like, so welcoming, and where did I meet Juan the first time? I can't remember, but he was. I went to the conventions, Paris. That was a big eye opener for me. I did that a couple times, and the first time I did it, I was like fucking blown away. Like, saw in the flesh, Eddie Deutsch and Tim Lehigh were working together there. That was a huge one for me, getting to see those guys in the flesh. But
that's who my tattoo hero was that I met, and it was not cool.
Which one? Did I just
Eddie?
Oh, really?
No, when I met him in the early 90s, I was so stoked. I wanted to get tattooed by him. He was not cool. I was like, I'm not spending a lot of money to spend time with this guy. I was so bummed out. I was so bummed out by that experience. Then, because he was cool with me when he knew I was like with Scott McEwen and Bill Baker and stuff.
Yeah.
And then that really turned me off from meeting a lot of my tattoo heroes throughout the years. I was just like, I don't want to meet that guy. Because if he turns out to be anything other than, what I hope he is, I'll be so fucking pissed. Yeah. And I'll probably fucking tear his portfolio in half.
Fuck.
So at conventions, I just was always just like, I'd go and look at, my heroes' work and stuff and grab a card or whatever, maybe a t-shirt, but I never would try and like really meet anybody because of like such a bad early experience where it's just like, okay, cool, whatever. So
that's a bummer. Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty eye-opening show, and Juan Puente was there, and I actually got a story.
I bet
for you from the second show I did. I got a Juan Puente story for you that's worth a listen. I on the Thursday, the setup day before the show, I got up and had the fucking craziest diarrhea, and
this is a great story.
Anyway,
any story that starts with diarrhea.
But felt fine. I was back at the Airbnb I was sharing with James. Tex was with me, and but so I didn't think anything of it. Went to the show to set up and kind of walking around and sort of kind of run into. I've spoken to Luke Atkinson a couple times, and he's another of one of the nicest guys in the industry and so welcoming. I was talking to him, and Juan came along, and I'd met Juan before, and we were chatting. And then I was like, Juan, I don't feel so good. I'm just going to find a place to sit down. And I kind of wandered off and looked for a place to hide and just sort of find a chair somewhere in the corner. And Juan is a wise fella, and he kind of was like spidey senses, and he kind of watched me. And the next thing I remember is I'm staring up, and Juan Puente is hovering above me, and he's crossing my arms across my chest and says, Rob, you passed out. I'm just gonna, put your arms like this and just take it easy. And he's just floating in front of me like a fucking. I fucking blacked out. I hit the ground, and Juan was wise enough to follow me. Like he kind of had spidey senses, like something's not right, and followed me, and I blacked out. So I'm at the convention, of course, and he said he sent somebody off to find James because he knows we traveled together, right? And someone had the sense to get Safwan because he speaks French. And so the convention people are freaked out because I've just fucking blacked out on their floor, right? And they've got like fucking insurance and shit, right? Like so they take me to this back room in the convention center somewhere and lay me on the floor. And Safwan's blah, 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 talking French with them. And I'm fucking laying there. And Tex is like fucking there, like looking around, like what the fuck's going on? And Safwan's there. And they talk. And I'm laying there. And then I'm like, James, I have to shit. But I can barely get up. So Safwan and James, get me arms over their shoulders. And there dragging me down what seemed like a fucking a mushroom trip of a long hallway, like fucking a longest hallway ever, like where the bathroom's down at the end, and they're like fucking packing me, and it's like seeming to take forever, like fucking a cartoon where the walls are just going by, door. And we get there and fucking down. I basically just threw my pants off and just headed backwards into the stall and made it in the nick of time onto the toilet, and I did not shit my pants. And I'm very proud of the fact that I didn't shit my pants. It was so close. The closest I've ever been.
That sounds like you did shit your pants, and this is an elaborate story.
No, I had witnesses because James and Safwan were sending me into the stall. They were there. They were there with me.
Yeah.
And James,
we'll ask. We'll be asking.
Like, him and Safwan kind of exchanged glances like, we're going to get shit on, right? Like it's a... And so... But that's not the end of it. Oh. So they don't know what to do with me. So they call a fucking ambulance and they send us off. And Steve got into this because someone had corralled him because they knew, we were sort of traveling together, right? And so James and Steve followed the ambulance in a cab to the hospital. And I luckily made it through without shitting my pants anymore, through just seeing a doctor. Hours of sitting in a lobby, them poor suckers having to hang out with me. And I got to see a doctor. He's like, you've got food poisoning or something. Gave me some stuff for, dehydration and send me on my way.
See you later, Rob.
Part 2 coming soon.
Oh, fuck. Yeah,
oh, my God. Sure. That's amazing. I believe he shit himself.
I do, too.
Yeah.
Because he did slip
100%.
there. When he was in the hospital, he said so he didn't shit himself again. or something like that.
Yeah. I 100% believe he had shit down the back of his thighs. Without question.
No one's pucker
he's
game
just
is that
waiting to come
strong.
on this podcast to tell everybody how I didn't shit myself. The stories you hear are wrong. It's all lies. And it's like interesting.
My
Very
pucker game
interesting.
is strong.
The crazy thing is like, you know, James is not he's a strong dude, but like him and Saf aren't the biggest dudes.
No,
fucking
Rob's-
Rob's a tree.
Totally.
Rob's a goddamn fucking oak tree of a human being. And those two dudes, like he's big as it is, but then imagine him like not feeling well and being kind of like dead weight, and you drag like Jesus Christ, like oh man. But
He just sent me.
was
He says he's going to see if his phone will link up. Oh man.
Oh my god. No, forget it. We're leaving it on the you shit yourself.
All right. We'll do a part 2.
Yeah. No, see if you can get in.
All right.
But I am tired, man. It's late here.
It's 8:33 here. I'm usually in bed looking at my phone. Here we go. Oh, he's trying it in. This again. Come on. You can do it, Rob. He's so funny. Oh. There he is. This is your third technological device.
They're all
laptop, iPad, iPhone.
They're all gonna die before the end of the fucking podcast. Anyway.
That's all right. We just had 60 seconds to talk about how we both truly believe you shit your pants. This was the whole reason why you agreed to come on the podcast is to actually just try and debunk all the rumors going around the conventions, how the great Rob Noseworthy shit himself at the Paris convention.
Well, you both know James Dex. He would take the first opportunity to tell everybody that I shit my pants if it were true, would you not?
I'll text him right now.
He's my witness.
We'll find out.
He's my witness. Safwan was there too. Ask Saf. Anyways, we're in this. We get out of the hospital. They kind of punt us out, and we get out to this fucking basically a parking lot. There's a turnstile with a guard in it, and like nothing, no like cabs, no, just a parking lot, right? So we go talk to this guy. He luckily spoke a bit of English. Ask him to call us a cab. He calls, no cab comes. He calls again. We spend an hour, just to wrap this story up, we spend an hour sitting on a curb after getting out of the hospital, having, passed out and fucking, and all this, sitting on a fucking curb, waiting for a cab that never comes. So we just started to start walking, and it's just a fucking massive freeway, and like, maybe apartment buildings or something across the street, but no businesses, no nothing, just a massive freeway. So we just start walking, and we finally, after probably half an hour, see what looks like a subway station, start to run over because there's a person there, and ask him, where the fuck are we? Like, no, we don't know where we are, right? Like, I don't know where the hospital is. It's not in the city, right? And just then we spot a cab and fucking ran over and hailed it down and finally got back. But what a fucking ordeal. Anyways, that was how I started off the convention. I never got out of bed on the Friday of the convention, and I was fully booked. So then I had, 2 days to do 3 days worth of work, and actually powered it all out and got everybody tattooed and
nice.
Fucking
salvaged something out of it. But man, what a fucking show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Nice.
I'm glad you could tie that story up. I think we're going to have to do a part 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's getting
this
late.
was
There's a
super
lot of
fun,
stuff,
Rob.
Yeah, a lot of stuff I want to dive into still.
Okay. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. And thanks for letting me have a chat.
Of course. Yeah.
No worries.
Definitely though, we have to pick this up again. And I'll screenshot this if James replies yes. You shit in your pants.
He's going to be lying though. He's going to fucking lie.
See, this is...
Oh, look and see. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
Amazing.
Awesome, buddy. All right. Well, it was great talking to you, man. I can't wait to talk to you again soon. And hopefully our paths will cross this year. Because
absolutely. Same.
more than a year has been too long seeing you.
Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%. And I miss you guys. And I hope to see you again.
I think
Cool.
I owe you a bottle of gin at least. So
Go good.
Good. I'll make that happen. I know how much you love the gin. Say hi to Jen for me,
Will
too.
do. Yeah.
Yes,
hi to your.
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to meeting your lady, Dave. And you have a new one too, Shawn. So I'll meet her. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
All right.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Good night, guys.
Talk soon.
Yeah. Take
Okay.
her easy.
Bye.
Bye. After a hike this morning.
I've just been still stressing about that van all day.
Oh, fuck. People are going to get confused listening to these podcasts. We're doing Rob Noseworthy again, and we just interviewed Jory, but that will come out after Rob. So,
So what? We did the convention one before Jessica, and that came out after her.
No, we did the convention one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right.
But I had to air that after because you fucking blew your wad about kidnapping her.
I did that. I did that on the Damian Robertson one.
Oh, okay.
The week before.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I can't keep track of anything. My concussion has totally fucked my memory. It's
Dude,
brutal.
Rob Job.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a good one. We'll talk to him about that.
Yeah.
That was a crazy story.
Yeah, that's yeah. All right,
Yeah.
anyways, sorry. What's going on with the platform, buddy?
Oh, man, I've had a great week. So anyone who's watched or listened to this podcast has obviously been inundated with Holdfast Social Club propaganda, and I hope it's working. It's hard to build up a new company, man. It's really fucking challenging. I had a great idea and had to see what the community thought of it, and funding it all myself, it takes time. It's expensive. And just yesterday we launched. We'd already had you could talk to each other. So if you get on the platform, create a profile, you can talk to other tattooers and studio owners on there, message each other direct. You can.
So that works now?
That works. Yeah. But the newest thing is now we've introduced peer-to-peer reviews. So you can go on there and you can vouch for somebody. So if there's somebody on the platform that you like you, I could go on and vouch for you and say, Shawn's a good, solid dude. I worked with him for years. And then other people would be able to go on your profile and be like, who's the Shawn guy? Oh, Dave Allen's vouched for him. Rob Jones vouched for him. And you can see who's vouched. So your name is actually literally attached to that person's reputation.
Yeah.
And the next thing that's coming out right away is we're going to put a wait list on there. So you can put yourself on a wait list. So if I wanted to go and work at somebody's shop that I don't know really well, I can put my name on there so they know, that
cool.
This guy wants to work at the shop. And then as a shop owner or an artist, because you'd have a wait list too, you don't even have to search. You can just go through this short list of people and be like, oh, fuck, yeah, that person's cool. If you want to go through their profile, there's all kinds of stuff on there about their expectations to work in your studio or a studio's expectations. So it really gets rid of a lot of the weirdness around hiring somebody.
Yeah.
It just gives you a lot more tools to filter out who you want and don't want. It's fully fledged. It's ready. It's going. It's free. Fucking sign up. Yeah.
I'll have to look at it.
Yeah. I know. It's funny in the beginning, people were like, what does this fucking thing do? At first it was just a landing page. I was like, I just want to see if people are even interested in the idea,
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, let's see if people actually make a profile. There's a whole process to building a business now. People probably don't, there's a lot of information, but there's tech incubators and entrepreneurs can get mentored, and they teach you a lean startup, basically. So a way to build a business from idea to launch. And I went through that process. So everybody who's been on board so far has gone through that process as well. They've been
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, go check it out. But that's enough of that. Let's we should mention that the True North Strong book is up. There's a link on the social media. It's a free book about tattooers in Canada. It's a fucking monolithic book that
it's
Shawn
375 pages in a format of 11 by 14, so flash
That's crazy.
Size. Not everybody has interviews in there. Not everybody has good interviews in there.
Oh, dude, don't even. You know what? Don't even fucking say that. The book is amazing. It's amazing.
Honestly, get it, download it, simply to read Steve Moore's interview, James Tex's interview, Clint Danroth's interview.
Oh yeah.
If you're gonna read any, you got to read those three.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But it's really amazing to look through just the quality and the breadth of talent that you captured in that one book.
And it's old now, right?
It's the book free.
The book never made it to publication, unfortunately. That book was, I think,
pre-COVID, like way pre-COVID.
Oh wait, like dude, I'm pretty sure that I put the finishing touches on that thing in like 2014.
Oh my God! So yeah, like anybody, just if you look at my section, that stuff is really fucking old.
Yeah. So once it kind of fell to the wayside and like publishing started becoming a bit of an issue, it got to the point for me where I was kind of like, you know what? I know how tattooers are with their stuff, and I was like so many people already don't like their shit.
Oh fuck it, who cares?
And I was just like, but anyways, the book sat on a hard drive for years. I decided a couple years ago just to start handing out drive links, and I have it hosted on Champion Tattoo's Facebook page. I believe I still have the link directly also on my Champion Tattoo Instagram page. Now you have it linked up.
Yep, and we'll look into trying to get it on a site where it's hosted and easy for people to find and look. But right now, anybody can go to the link. You can fucking download it. It doesn't take very long.
Don't try and do it to your phone.
No, fuck yeah, don't do it.
It is a big file.
Yeah, it's huge, but it's worth it. It's great. I just went through it again today, and I was like, "Fuck, this is awesome!" Like,
it's over a gig, and also because it is a large art format table, like coffee table style book, you don't want to look at it on your phone. You're going to be fucking doing this.
The phone's not the way,
right? Like the whole front of the book is literally artist interview and then like pictures all through, kind of like a tattoo magazine, really. So check it out. Don't check it out.
Yeah, it's probably the best book on Canadian tattooing that's ever been released. I'm going to admit Rob into the meet here, and we're going to try to catch up with where we left off, which I can't remember. So this should be fucking funny.
He was shit talking Nick Chaboya.
Oh yeah, and there was that story. He was trying to say he didn't shit his pants when he was in Europe.
Yeah, he definitely shit his pants.
You texted James. You got to show Rob. Oh, hey, Rob. What's up?
You guys having fun, are you?
Yeah.
Nice.
We love you, Rob. We love you.
All right. Is your shit charged?
It's charged, 59%. That should do.
That should do.
But it's I'll tell you right now, it's a brand new iPad.
What?
Yeah.
We can only see half your face, though.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Better.
Awesome.
God. Yeah. Brand new iPad.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, the old one was, it would sort of, did it come on normally? Not really as normal as sometimes. And, like if you lose all that stuff in Procreate, I'm done, yeah. So I thought I might as well buck up.
I went out and bought tracing paper and Prismacolor pencils today.
It's way cheaper. Yeah.
You want to here's something that's telling. So the art store here in town, I used to go in and buy boxes of Coley Race, and if I would clear out all the red ones so no one else could buy them and shit like that. They had huge bins of Canson tracing paper, obviously for tattooers and shit like that. I went in today. They had 8 Coley Race pencils total. They don't carry them anymore. They don't carry them anymore.
Wow.
And they had 3 rolls of tracing paper, and they were like real short, stubby ones.
Wow.
I was just like, wow, everyone's on tablets now.
Yeah. I want to go back to paper if I can organize a space to draw in again.
Same.
It's hard.
That's the hardest thing.
It's so easy to just sit on your, couch and watch TV and draw.
Yeah.
Well, I can't multitask that way.
No, you know what? I can't really either, but theoretically.
Yeah.
My
That's a
problem
justification
is
when you
I
buy
have
it.
TV on my iPad, so I'll be like Procreate for a bit, and I'll be like, huh, What's on Prime?
Can you do picture in picture? You have it just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be rad.
Yeah. Will Prime work in the reference like bubble on Procreate?
I don't know.
Jeez. A live feed there. Yeah, I wonder.
Oh shit, we gotta start trying that out.
You develop that app right now. Make a buck.
Teddy Cardos, get on that ASAP. Toot sweet. Thank you, buds.
He's the tech guy.
He's the tech guy.
Teddy's amazing.
You always need a tech guy.
Yeah. So Rob, how you been since we saw you so long ago?
Last week.
Yeah.
We've seen you more in a week than we've seen you in the last 4 years.
No doubt. I'm still tripping out that I'm just talking to you guys on my device here. All like your faces are there, you know. And
it's like showing FaceTime to Nana for the first time. It's Dan.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I can touch him.
Just to be happy my camera's not facing the wall over there. You'd have to like talk me through. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on over there?
Yeah, exactly.
That was basically our first interview that we ever did. Oh fuck.
I just want to get a green screen just so I can have space behind me.
Oh totally. Yeah, you could go down. You go wherever you want.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, where did we leave off with you last week, Rob?
He shit his pants in Paris.
Oh, by the way, James would not back your story.
Yeah, but I mean, in my defense, like he's a fucker, you know. So he's gonna play with this situation.
Yeah, Dave, I sent you the text. You should use that. Throw it up.
I think the listeners would believe a guy like me over the likes of you guys and texts and stuff. Like seriously.
We have very little credibility.
Agreed.
Very little.
Agreed.
Oh.
I can't remember though, to be honest, where we were.
I did have one nagging question that I thought about after we had hung up, and that was your drawing process. I've always been fascinated by it. I know. It seems like a ridiculous question, but
it's a ridiculous process. That's all. No. Well, it used to be more ridiculous. The iPad kind of saved my ass, but you guys have probably witnessed me taping on little bits and blowing up other bits, and you know. But now with the iPad, man, that's the godsend for me. You just crop it out, blow up that hand, or move it around. But yeah,
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I would like to take it back all the way to your initial consult with a client, because you do such big work, and I know they come back and that, but I'm curious how you get from basically your client's idea to your idea.
It's different now than it was. You know, in the beginning, I just did whatever anybody wanted, right, and did it how they liked it. But it's evolved now, where I'm lucky enough to have repeat clients and enough of them that I just take the jobs that suit me. So it's a hell of a lot easier. I mean, 90% of them just give me a subject matter and say, "This is what can you do something with that?" Or if you have a better idea, you know. And so it's pretty easy. Like consults are easy now. The odd new client, you know, maybe has a more specific idea, but I filter that out right from the get-go. Like when I answer the first email, I say, look, you know, I'm at a point where I kind of just want to do what's in my wheelhouse. If you have a very specific idea and in your head already, I'm probably not the guy for you. Respectfully, you know, like I'm just kind of, I prefer to sort of run with a general concept, and it usually gets the ball rolling in the right direction, and it's pretty easy from there. But I mean, I don't know. I think clients are already trained now. Like, you know, I don't have to do a lot of that babysitting anymore, and I'm usually tattooing heavily tattooed people, so they know the gig already, and it's pretty easy now, easier than ever now. Consults, like they're usually one sentence, you know, and I want a Hanya back piece or what. I mean, they're not all Hanya back pieces, but you know, as an example, And I might have something clever to add, and they might have some other thing, and I might tell them, too much. Let's get rid of this one or that one. And the people, but they're all very accepting of my ideas on the stuff, and yeah, I don't know if that answers your question well enough.
No, I think it does. From there, I'd be curious about your drawing process and how you reference, how you map stuff out for the body, like the whole deal. We got time to kill here, so
okay, I'll talk slowly.
You already do, Island dudes.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely use reference. I try to use ukiyo-e. Is that how you say it, Dave?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to say it grime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you spelt it wrong.
I try not to reference tattoos when I'm drawing. I like looking at them, but I try not to bring them into the Procreate. I try to stick with. I'll screenshot out of my my woodblock books. I try to stick with woodblock reference as much as possible.
Is your I'm going to hazard a guess, is your biggest influence Yoshitoshi?
Yeah. You caught that.
Yeah, the color palette lends itself to Yoshitoshi.
I never thought of the color aspect of it, but that's interesting that's what you see. That's cool. But it's definitely there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was the illustrator of woodblockers, in my opinion. Like he took it beyond the, does Kuniyoshi look a whole lot different than such and such and the one before him? And not really. They kind of, that's how they work. But Yoshitoshi, for some reason, and I say Kiyosai too, but Yoshitoshi especially, didn't mind getting illustrative, didn't mind, using like more accurate anatomies and sort of a little more illustrated with it. And man, it's perfect for me. Like that's sort of how I like to try to approach a Japanese piece. Is the same way he draws it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it shows in your work. I can spot it every time when I'm scrolling. I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember learning early on, and I never followed this advice. It was stupid, but to identify with one woodblock artist if you're in the Japanese realm and just copy the fuck out of it. Like just study it, copy it, and utilize it, and then your style will come out of that. And a lot of us, we have fucking libraries of different artists and constantly referencing different stuff, and it never matches up, right? Like it's hard to find a cohesive vision.
Yeah, I'd say there's probably value to that first thing you said, but all that's going to do is make you tattoo nice Japanese style tattoos that are one-dimensional. But as for a creative artist, it's not really great. I don't think. I think the other way, just mix and match and make it up. That's all I'm doing. That's all most of us white guys who are doing Japanese work are doing, is making it up. We don't know shit. Like there's very few tattooers that know what the hell they're actually drawing and sort of representing. But that's fine too. I mean, you don't have to understand everything Frank Frazetta did to do a badass broad on the back of a tiger, or whatever.
God, can we bring that back? Oh my God, the '90s Frazetta influence. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be right.
Yeah, van murals for back pieces.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah.
The polar bears with the chariot.
Where are those guys? They gotta have money now. They're 60 years old, right? Like they're just too old to get tattooed, I guess, the guys that want that. But now I guess I don't know what's next.
It'll come back. We mentioned it on the podcast. It'll be a thing now.
Yeah. All 4 people watching this. Yeah.
4 people are gonna just be shouting from rooftops.
At last count, I think we had 6 subscribers.
Yeah. And then lighting their roof on fire and headbanging and
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like this back piece of 2 polar bears.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Slaying bodies everywhere.
Yeah. Sorry, I sidetracked that. You were talking about reference.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I definitely pull in whatever subject I'll find my favorite, woodblock print that I might, want to sort of absorb the most of it. It's open on the thing there, and I'll directly look and copy some stuff and just kind of let it soak in. Other times depends on how comfortable I am with the subject, and then all that, how much I have to sort of draw from other stuff. And then some stuff, man, like, the intricacies of armor on a samurai and stuff, like I reference that to hell. Like I can't make that shit up. Some people I see like Acro or someone like that just drawing that shit. I mean, maybe they got the reference sitting there, but people like that, they got a mind for that stuff, like that can just remember all that stuff and just reproduce. I don't have that kind of memory. I gotta really look at stuff. And if I
did you see that Acro post the other day of that samurai?
That's probably
time lapse.
That's probably why I said his name, is because, like, come on, the dude's killing it. His sketches and stuff, he's posts his sketchbook stuff. Oh man, I could look at that stuff all day. Yeah, but anyways, reference is there for sure. And like I say, I scroll through Instagram a fair amount, look at my favorite artist tattoos and that, but I try not to open stuff up on my Procreate page when I'm drawing, just for obvious. Maybe it's not obvious to some listeners, but just so you're not biting too much, bite a little bit from what you can kind of remember, but try not to bite too heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was if someone asked me to do a traditional, like an American traditional, I'd probably have some tattoos open for that, because I don't understand that stuff as well as a lot of guys out there. So I'd have to rely on reference for that. And tattoos, I think, are safe because all those fuckers just trace that shit anyway. So, what are you stealing? Nothing.
Yeah. What?
Shots fired.
All respect, man. I wish in another life I'd go back. I'd do traditional because, man, the stress level is. I mean, that stuff's hard though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you got to be talented to do it right, and especially to bring a voice to it, like a lot of guys do. The Gagnes and the and the rest of them, and the Chris. And,
the
Chris Davids and stuff,
Andres, so many.
You really do have to have a lot of talent. I don't mean to sound, but it's, man, you could just knock them out. And what am I doing? Why am I putting all these details and tweaky shit everywhere and like fucking packing every corner with shit oh God, why am I doing it? I don't know. I can't stop when I'm drawing it, and then the client sees it, and then it's too late. You got to follow through by then.
Yeah, it was like that food dog you were working on, that back piece at the Deadly convention.
Oh, yeah. Fuck
yeah. I don't. You just
I know.
Felt like doing a million hairlines.
Why did? Yeah, I know.
It looks amazing though.
It's
right.
Yeah,
it's like
and hopefully in time too. I mean, I think a lot of stuff I do is maybe a little selfish, Though I try to do it with the idea that it can spread and then it'll just be texture and just be shading or whatever, right? I try to, but some stuff does get a little selfish, I think, just for the fun of the illustration. But like I say, I do have a hope that it won't be total dog shit, down the road.
Well, I think your balance with your color, because your color, you tend to pound in lots of fields of flat color, and you let the line work and the texture kind of bring it to life. I think that's a good balance, right? You're not trying to over render stuff with color layers. And
with the Japanese stuff, I think that's hugely important. Like you're definitely when you get to the more illustrative style, and sort of, the guys that are in the in-between zones, you got to be careful when you're adding shadows and light sources. You got to be James Tex to pull some of that stuff off, right? So, to not have it, it gets dangerously complicated and busy to look at. I agree. The flat colors is where I can kind of do that sort of Steve Moore thing where you don't pack it full, you just do the right amount of stuff. But I still don't think I do it like I could be better at it, at boiling it down a little bit. I think that's where I'll, so that's sort of the direction I'm trying to go, is to sort of boil it down one more step. But for good or bad, I mean, I don't know. Did you guys watch guys like my heroes when I first started tattooing? I haven't been doing it that long, but not like you guys. But but your heroes in the beginning.
Old.
Yeah, you guys are so old. The guys that you followed in the beginning and you watch their work and it just gets simpler and simpler and simpler over time. I mean, that's an age old thing, isn't it? You know, and
Yeah,
it's happening to me. And you get, and you know, there was guys that were ahead of me telling me why, you know, and I said, I get it, but I didn't quite get it. And it takes, you know, doing it for this amount of time to sort of get it, you know.
Seeing your stuff come back after, you know, 10 years of tattooing, 15 years of tattooing, you start being like, oh fuck, that didn't work. Like none of that stuff worked.
And for me mostly it's the aging of it, like, you know, is the physically in the skin, you know, colors fade and, you know, and all that, and lines get wider, but most of that, you know, I find acceptable, but it's the style, you know, like the what the fuck, you know, the quirky, you know, shit I was doing, you know, at that time is like, oh no, you know, like it's 5 years old and it's already like, oh, I don't want people to see that. So, you know, boiling it down, you know, that it's mostly for that, so the style will last, you know.
Yeah, I think it's hard to, you know, what you're saying is you want to simplify or refine things, and some people might mistake that as, you know, dumbing it down or something, but that's not the case. It's a more complex problem because you still want the level of artistry there, but you just don't want to have to throw in everything into the tattoo to make it look the way you used to.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, part of it too is you know, it's hard work, you know. Simplifying it makes it easier too. It makes the job easier, it makes it easier for the client, makes it easier for me or you. And you know, as you get older, you know, the amount of energy you can put into it, you know, we don't have infinite energy like we did when we were, you know, 30 years old, right?
No.
No.
Yeah, tattooing 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Watching Tex just tattoo all day at a convention. I'm like, man, I can't even do that in my shop.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, it's crazy.
I don't know how. I just can't.
Yeah.
And he's doing it every goddamn day.
He's just stubborn,
you know?
though. He just won't give up. He's just, he'll just like do it, and then one day he'll just explode, you know, in the middle of the convention. Every ligament, and every muscle just kind of pop, and he'll, you know.
When I guest spotted there, he had me tape ice packs to his forearms while he was tattooing.
Yeah.
Like he took a break, and I put ice packs and wrapped them because like his tinnitus or tennis, whatever the fuck it was that he had, was acting up.
Fucking David Goggins of tattooing.
Yeah,
totally. He's totally the David Goggins of tattooing.
He's insane. He's insane. I believe that 100%. It's very believable. Yeah.
It's inspiring though. You know, like we went to the convention and I hadn't seen James in probably 5-6 years at least. I walked up to his booth and immediately I was like, I want to start painting again. Like immediately, it was just saw one painting of his, and I was like, I got to start painting again.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I was. You know? I did Puerto Rico convention with James and Anthony, and the wives came. We did a bit of a holiday, and but we shared an Airbnb, and I was embarrassed for myself. Like those two, Anthony and James, like every minute the freaking tablet's out and they're drawing. You know, like they're always drawing, and they've caught up on their drawings. Now they're drawing some more. And, you know, in between drawings, they draw, you know, and it's crazy. They work so hard. People think they're, you know, I speak about James, but Anthony, you could tie Anthony in like, oh, they're so talented. They're so talented. Yeah, they are.
It's hard.
Yeah, they are. But it's the work. It's the work that makes them stand out.
They work.
Yeah.
Volume.
Yeah.
People used to ask me that early on about James, and even about Steve. I'm like, man, I don't know which he likes more. I don't know if he likes drawing more or tattooing more, but he draws and draws and draws and draws and draws. Like,
I always thought guys like that, the gift they got wasn't the talent to draw or anything like that. It was perception. Their perception was different, and they put in all that hard work, and then they come up with this wild, you know, volume of work.
Yeah, but I think I have perception, but I don't have the work, like the work. I mean, I worked hard for a while, and I don't work as hard anymore, but like just their drive, like you have to have that too, I think, you know. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But turn around and look out your window.
Yeah.
Why would you not be enjoying
I
that,
value
right?
other things in life as high as working hard on that stuff. Like I work hard on my yard. I work hard on other things, you know. And so
and your family.
Yeah. Not that they don't, but you know, they're it's just different focuses, and I can't stay on that one thing too long. Like I got to mix it up.
Yeah.
But
well, and the Tex family is literally becoming like a tattoo dynasty family now.
Right?
So they're all just gonna drive each other to work even harder and outdo one another.
No doubt.
It's inspiring.
Well,
it's
I
inspiring.
think Alexandra got to have kids or something and keep that thing going in a hurry here. I'd like to see that. Yeah. Babies tattooing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Anyways, I think we got off topic. I don't even remember that. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
My process is ugly. It's ugly. Yeah.
People don't fucking listen to this for topic.
No. Yeah.
They listen to us so they feel more normal.
When I was digging up photos, I forgot to pay enough attention. I just want to bring it up while I'm thinking of it. Is the influence of going to Point St. Charles PSC and getting tattooed by Dave
Fuck
C.
yeah.
I got a leg sleeve from Dave, pretty much my whole leg, not quite the whole thing. And that guy, man, he's just I can't get enough of being around that guy. And as a person, mainly, like his tattooing's great, but I just loved the process of being around him and how cool that guy is. And that shop, oh my God, that shop's the coolest place in Canada, you know?
Yeah.
He's so laid back, like he's so mellow and chill.
Yeah.
And
probably had the amount of weed he
constant
smokes.
metal.
He's always been that way. And the other crazy thing is getting tattooed by Dave. I've never sat for as long as I have with anybody else than I have with Dave. Dave tattooed me in, I think, 98 for like 9 hours. And it was like nothing.
You know what? I think that might be the same for me. I did long sessions with Dave, come to think of it. And
first when he started my Fudo leg, I'm thinking like, I'm just going to get the outline done. I don't like getting tattooed anymore. It hurts and it's my thigh and this and that. He started and it was like, we just talked, shot the shit, laughed at Tony's jokes that were horrible. You know, like Woodley was there, Marnie was there, all these people were there and stuff. And Chris David popped in to say hello. You know, it's like 8 hours went by and I'm like, what the fuck? Like his energy, it's just like his tattooing is amazing, his energy amazing. All this stuff kind of like collides and just creates like the easiest ability to get tattooed. I've been tattooed by a lot of people, man, and like he is on. It's like I would assume he's like wearing like a numbing cream when you get tattooed by. Because I didn't feel anything for fucking 8 hours. I literally didn't feel anything.
Oh, I didn't have that experience.
He tattooed one of my knees. Steve Moore tattooed the other one. I'm going to tell you the Steve Moore one was a totally different experience than the Dave C one.
Yeah.
I love both tattoos. I sat for each of them to completion. And Dave C, I was so nervous about Dave tattooing me. He started tattooing. He's like, "Is it okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, dude, we're It was just like, you're so easy.
I do have one story though. I had like, I'm not the best at sitting. Like I get through it, but I'm not like a tough guy, right? And I get anxious sometimes. I've even passed out, like just not from the pain, but before, you know, like the anxiety of it. Anyways, I was at PSC and Dave's in the shop smoking away, and like I couldn't breathe, and I had to be like, Dave, can you please not smoke? I hate to ask you. And no problem, man, no problem. Smoking in the fucking shop as he's working like it's 1975. Wow.
It is.
Yeah.
That's Montreal.
It's Montreal, Point St. Charles.
Yeah.
And that shop specific, like when was it open there? In the 70s? Literally
72? 74, I think. 74 or 76.
Yeah.
It was across the street though.
Yeah. They moved. Yeah.
I have pictures of the old shop and then Yeah. So I'm the same as like what you're saying. Like I normally do not handle getting tattooed well. Do you remember we went down, you, Steve, and I went down to Victoria, so I get tattooed by Eckel.
Oh yeah.
Remember he did my foot. I like stripped down to my underwear because I was soaking wet from sweat. Like, and
what shop?
Well, Eckel's pretty handsome.
Where was it?
I don't.
What shop was
that?
What shop was that?
He was at when he was at Tattoo Zoo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I came in. I guest spotted at Black and Blue,
Right.
and then you were like, oh, I want to go down and meet him. And Steve Moore was like supposed to get work by him, and he was supposed to do a back piece on Eckel or whatever. So he's like, oh, I'll come too. So yeah, we went down, and yeah, it was just yeah. I hate getting tattooed. If somebody asked me, I was getting tattooed by Steve at the convention, and Joe Capobianco kept asking Steve questions. I thought I was gonna fucking punch that guy right in the face. It's like, shut up, stop talking in my vicinity. I don't want to hear words. I hate getting tattooed. So getting tattooed by Dave C and just it being nothing is actually like a really big deal for me. Like,
I was getting tattooed by Dave at the Vancouver convention, and I had to hold it together. John the Dutchman came over, and I probably had a couple short conversations with John before, but he sat there talking to me for a while, and I had to sort of just play it cool and fucking, with the the goat, there.
Oh man, yeah. That's a heavy place to be.
Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to point out how much Dave C has been an influence, and his work as well. Like, man, a lesson in boiling it down right there to the perfect scenario. Yeah,
less
is
more.
Were you guys there when he used to go out in the old days to Sacred Heart? He must have been, right? Yeah.
I have pictures of us there. And stuff, and then I used to go and work at Tattoo Mania when he was at Tattoo Mania.
That was a long time ago.
Long time ago. Yeah.
So I was an apprentice at Sacred Heart, and he came out for a visit. I'd never met him, and I came into work, and he wasn't there, but his portfolios were there.
Were they already Bibles?
Yeah, they were. They're massive, and Steve was like every young tattooer, new tattooer was my hero, and I was looking through the portfolios, and it just hit me so hard. Like his stuff was, I just loved it. And Steve came over and goes, "What do you think? What do you think?" And I'm like, "I don't know what to say, Steve, but I think he's my favorite tattooer now." And Steve was like, "Yeah, it's cool, right? It's super tattooey."
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. I love when Dave used to come out. I remember one time he used to come out and go snowboarding. Sometimes, just the best times hanging out with that guy.
I hadn't seen much of his work because it was sort of just, I don't even know. Instagram was probably rolling, but I don't know if I even had a phone. And Steve showed me his phone of it was Anton's back, the gorilla face kind of Hanya thing. And that was the first tattoo I'd seen of Dave's. I came on late to the Dave train. I'd always heard his name, but I never really knew his work because he's out east, of course. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And that was when Steve was like, you should get tattooed by Dave. And I'm like, yeah, I should get tattooed by Dave. And that's when that kind of got rolling. But yeah.
I'll have to show you my Dave arm. Actually, it's all old school, like his really old school stuff, but it's all cover up. And it was one shot from shoulder, like all the way, and just down, just solid, just all day long.
Those arms are like an old, heritage home now with all the layers of
Yeah, just the big crazy blue panther with a giant dagger through it with the crossbones up top with a red spider web and just cool as shit.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, it's so amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably still solid as the day he did it. His tattoos
pretty much
so good. I've seen a few old pieces and they're like, man, how does this color still look as good as it did, on a new piece?
Yeah, and he puts it in so soft. How is it? How is it so saturated? Why am I hurting people?
I just tattooed an armpit today. Oh, the pain. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Soft would be good in the armpit.
Yeah. Fuck. You're not heavy. You tattooed me. You were definitely in the realm of Dave C for softness.
Good. Yeah. I get that sometimes from guys that have been tattooed a lot, like Genghis there. I tattooed him quite a bit, and he's had other stuff. And yeah, he's saying I'm pretty gentle, and a couple others too. Yeah, I hear that.
I was getting tattooed.
That's it. I mean, I have
Go ahead.
clients that can't do it, you know, and stuff. So doesn't that always put you in doubt? Like, what am I doing it wrong? You know, like when you have someone, you have a bunch of great sitters, and you have someone who's just terrible, you know, and you think, fuck, what have am I hurting this person? Is it me? You know? Yeah. I don't know. I always get paranoid about that stuff, but
I was reading an article not too long ago, and it was about pain and that they figure it's genetic. Like none of us have the same response to pain.
I believe.
So you could easily have a client who just can't handle it, and someone else who can sit for hours and hours and hours and not feel a
it's
thing.
nerve endings. I mean, I don't know. Everyone's got that friend you touch and they just bounce, you know, like and you know, or super ticklish and stuff. And it's and other people, there's nothing going on. I don't know. I believe that 100%. Yeah, everyone's different.
Yeah, we had a girl come to the shop and she got tattooed by a bunch of us, and we just nicknamed her. I can't remember her name now because we call her Skynet. Because she's just a fucking Terminator of a robot. She just comes in, doesn't matter where she's getting tattooed, doesn't matter who's tattooing her. She will not flinch, nothing. Just like sit, like it's no big deal. How you doing? Oh, I'm fine, great. You want to walk around?
A dream.
Cool,
yeah.
And just
that makes the job so easy. Oh,
yeah. Those people get the best tattoos out of you too.
Yeah,
because you're just focused on work. You're not focused at all about what you're feeling off them. Like, holy fuck, this person's in distress. You know,
totally.
I talk about that.
And if they're in a lot of distress, you start holding back.
Oh yeah.
I feel. I do. It's like,
honestly, I'll say it. I rush through the fucking thing. I just want to be done. It's the worst. We're talking about that today. Like, you know, you got this fucking back piece, you know, Hanya you've drawn, and you lay on the stencil first line, and they're like, you know, and it's like instantly, it's like, fuck, this sucks. This is going to be a long, shitty haul, and it just the whole.
No, it's going to be short, shitty haul.
Yeah. I don't think the people that don't understand might think like, oh, you guys are assholes. It's like, no, you don't understand the energy that it takes just to tattoo a person on a good day.
Yeah.
And when you get somebody like that, we don't like hurting them. And then that pain, it causes us distress also, and it causes anxiety, and then just the whole like fucking process and energy and everything is off. And now you have to do this.
Yeah. That's why I don't mind numbing cream. I'll let people use numbing cream.
I can't do it.
Fuck it.
No, I've just found with my own tattoos that I've had on myself using numbing cream and clients that the tattoos end up needing a lot more touch-ups. They don't heal well. That's just a nightmare. I'd rather use spray,
right?
You know, like as I'm working. Yeah,
I don't mind. I'd rather someone sit and I don't have to stress. Just like what Shawn was just saying. That to me is worth it. I'll spend extra time. And then you know you got the liberty to just fucking pound it in there too, don't you? When it's not. Needles are out like this. Yeah. It's go time.
Yeah, until the shit wears off.
Yeah, I just finished Julia's arm the other day, took it into the armpit, and it was like, if it wasn't for numbing cream, I wouldn't have been able to start at the wrist and kind of rework some stuff I wanted to rework, and then just pile on all the new color and everything else up. So jumping back and forth and like, I want to do this now, this, and then just to finish it, you know, I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for numbing cream. It's like, fuck
yeah. I mean, I don't love it. Don't get me wrong. I fucking hate it.
I know how to put color
sticky.
in.
It's fucking. You can't get it off. The ink's gluing. You know, you can't wash the ink. It sucks. But that versus going home after 2 hours versus getting in 4.5, 5 is
for sure.
Yeah, I also have clients that they put it on themselves, and they come in and it's like a centimeter thick, and it's like,
don't let them do that.
Yeah, and the skin's rubber. You can't like.
Yeah. What you should do is you should have it. You have them come to the shop 90 minutes early. You apply it for like $50 plus the charge of the cream. Yeah. And then they go away and grab a coffee. You set up, they come back. So you still get paid for your time. while you're waiting at the
Yeah.
shop for them.
You know what I used to do is I used to buy xylocaine from the pharmacy because it's dirt cheap and it's lidocaine just like anything else.
Yeah.
And mix it in with my Glide.
Yeah.
So as I'm tattooing, I'm putting it
sure.
on. It's mixed in with the I don't use Vaseline anymore, but
yeah.
No, it's nice. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just takes that edge off, right? Like you take that 20% paint off, and that's all you need.
There you go, Rob Job. Add that shit to your maple butter.
Yeah, totally. Fuck.
Yeah.
Could have been my new product.
Chop that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Beep, 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 beep,
I
beep.
heard people put Bactine in their wash bottles and stuff, but I don't know. It's kind of an expense. I'm a cheap fucker.
I hear that.
Yeah. I've bought Bactine to be nice, and then I never use it. I always forget about it. I
The
never
best
use
I've
it.
had is
I'm
if you
just
hand
like,
it to the client. Say, here, hit it once in a while. You know, like in between
Yeah.
dips or while I'm getting out ink or whatever. Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Tell them to bring their own
Yeah.
fucking Bactine.
I was gonna say, I'll just start telling people bring for large pieces. Yeah, you should buy
Yeah.
some of this. You should buy some of this.
Totally.
Bring some
Yeah.
snacks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good
Yeah.
idea.
Fuck, I used to tell everybody to bring snacks. Everybody used to bring fucking snacks to get tattooed. I haven't had a client bring fucking food in years. And I keep telling them, bring food. And they're like, meh.
Yeah. I'd want food if I was sitting there for a long time. Like, fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's my excuse when I'm getting tattooed to binge
Yeah.
eat. I just,
Yeah.
chocolate bar after
You're in your
chocolate bar.
jammies. You got the TV on. Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, that was like when I tattooed Clint. He was like, "Oh, wait a second!" He's all excited because he had his tattoo blanket and tattoo pillow in the car because he
Yeah.
had just had it. I guess I forget he was getting tattooed by in Seattle.
Oh, Aaron.
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron Bell. So he had just come back and he was like, "Oh," and he was all excited. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He comes in and he's got like this nice fluffy blanket and a pillow. And I was like,
Yeah. Smart.
Clint
Yeah.
knows what's up.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I don't know if I go near that blanket.
Oh, I'm sure he washes the blanket.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
leopard skin. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he had I tattooed Clint. He brought a pillow and stuff. Yeah, he gets comfortable, but it's smart. It's smart, right? That guy's a smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never even thought of it. That's just like,
Yeah.
wait.
He's always got good ideas. I like
Totally.
shooting the shit with Clint. He's been at it a while, and he's just got good ideas about how it should be done, you know. And he's a good guy for that kind of stuff. Yeah, unique idea.
Yeah, he has lived and breathed tattooing since he started. Like not like many other people.
Yeah.
He's just immersed
I've always
himself in
seen
it.
him. He's the James Brown at a convent of tattooing. You know, like now he dresses like him as well. But
he's our Philadelphia Eddie.
He's
Yeah.
the workhorse, man. That guy's going nonstop.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, working with you know what? On top of that, he's one of the best teachers in tattooing. He can get an idea across and help you work through problems so easily. Like he's Dustin was really good at it, but I think Clint was an even better
Oh
teacher.
yeah, right on. Totally.
Yeah.
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 I remember just asking him about one of his paintings and him explaining his process.
Oh,
I was like, did he explain this to me like a retard because I'm retarded? Or it's like, no, he's just that good at explaining. And it was just the simplest question, like, oh, how do you do this? And it was just like, it was like a master class in like wash.
Yeah. He does. He gets his ideas across.
Where's my notebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He's and he's passionate about it. You know, I think that's the thing, right? He just lives in that space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about some tattooers. A perfect segue. Who are your top 5?
Ooh, Jesus Louise. Well, I mean, Steve.
Nick Chaboya.
I haven't heard of her before.
I'm gonna have to get more than 5.
Chaboya.
You know, but you know the.
No, 5's the 5. Sorry, them's the rules.
Damn it. Okay, I mean, Steve.
Everyone wants to bend the rules. It's like no.
Steve, James, Grime.
now it gets tough. I mean, Dave C's up there, right? Chris O'Donnell has always been a huge influence.
That's
yeah.
5.
Okay, done.
You did that good.
That was those are great choices too.
Moritomo,
right?
Yeah, whatever. If you don't count it, that's
No.
fine. But I still got to say it.
Yeah.
You can't stop me from naming more. You just
Robert Atkinson.
Yeah.
Robert Atkinson.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Philip.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Philip.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Philip who? Yeah.
Oh man, you can't
Never
do
heard of
5. 5's too little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing though, right? Like one week you're going to be more influenced by somebody because kind of what you're maybe working on or what you're kind of looking at. And then the next week we'll ask you. And yeah, your top 3 will probably be the same, but you'll probably swap out the lower 2.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just the way it is.
I'll tell you
It's
this
not like
then in a different, we'll frame it different. But in the beginning, when I started to realize I wanted to do a lot of Japanese work, Chris O'Donnell was hands down. And then, Trevor McStay and Philip, of course. Henning and Rubendahl were influences. Remember Tattoo Artist Magazine, of course. That issue with Philip and Trevor, I think, was in the same one.
Oh.
That thing is just loose pages that got, went through so much. It's taped together, but that page of sketches of Trevor's in the back, like the sort of the ones that Color Ace. There was probably 5 on a page or more. That thing just got referenced so hard and heavy, like koi fish especially, and tigers and everything. But Trevor was huge.
That's another guy who does really simple Japanese. It's so easy to read and so clean.
Yeah, like when I late 90s, early 2000s, like I just wanted to just steal everything of Trevor. Yeah. Right? It was like Paul, and then I discovered Trevor, and then I was just like,
that's cool. Like there was a lot going on when I started it. There was a lot of dudes doing quality Japanese, but when you were starting, there was only those handful of guys, right? I mean, yeah,
it was like, of course, my mentor, Paul Jeffries, Trevor McStay, Henning was, coming out about, of course, and of course Philip, Don Hardy. There wasn't a lot outside of Japan. Like there wasn't a lot of Westerners. Like Mick was starting to come out. And
good point. Well said. Like outside of Japan, there's plenty over there.
You know what I love about the Japan thing is that there's tattooers that are tattooing there that none of us have still heard of. Nobody's heard of.
So many.
It's so underground in so many ways.
So I don't know if you guys remember, like really early days of the internet, there was a website hosting called GeoCities.
Yes.
It was like MySpace kind of. You could build web pages, and there was GeoCities like .com, but then other country codes like geocities.jp, etc., etc. I found, and I have I'll find the photocopies where I printed them off. I found Shige's first website on GeoCities. Like back when he worked at the Harley dealership. I had no idea who he was. I was just like, I'm going to steal all this guy's skinny dragons. And I just printed them off the internet, and I was showing everybody, and they were like, oh, those are pretty cool.
Fuck, that would be cool to see now.
Like they were like, because I've never seen them ever published other than this website. But who reminds me of these early dragons was early Bill Canales stuff that was on Tattoodles. Those really long, snaky, big eye. Like that was like, I was like, oh, he found shit.
Yeah.
And when I found that geocities.jp, I literally, because what I discovered, if you hovered your mouse over Japanese, it would translate down in the lower bar into English.
Wow. Oh, wild.
So I would just look for what I thought might have been a tattoo word, and I just start clicking links. And I found so many Japanese tattooers that I'd never even heard of, dude. And their work is all in my early portfolios.
Why did you give up on tech? It sounded like you were ahead of the game back then.
Because I got in trouble.
Danger. Yeah.
Oh, you'd be a big help to this team if you had that technology.
Yeah, dude. Even just the first 4 years of when my computers were taken and like stuff was in storage, so much stuff had changed that it was like so foreign to me, you know. And then I watched Teddy when he worked for me. I'm watching him code and stuff, and I'm like, what? Like, I can't. I don't understand any of it anymore. I'm that old guy now that's like, a VCR?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, once you sort of...
What's this phone? Like, you know, asking my girlfriend, like, how do you do that notification turn off thing on the iPhone? Like, I don't fucking know anymore.
Yeah, a similar scenario when I was at Hedley early on, when I first started kind of doing guest spots there. James showed me the filing cabinet where he keeps everything, right? I never used to, and he was like, "What are you doing? You're crazy!" Like I was done a tattoo, it goes into the recycling, the drawings, the line drawings, everything, right? Gone, just get rid of it. But he's like, "What are you doing?" And I started keeping them after. But anyways, I got to see his filing cabinet, old stuff, like he keeps everything, right? And it was awesome because it wasn't that good, you know. Like it showed, you know, it gives you hope, like the progression. You know, like it's like, holy shit, okay, you just didn't come out of the womb drawing, you know, perfect lady faces. Like and it speaks to how hard he works, right? But it was awesome to see stuff that was like him figuring it out, you know, and just like we all did, right? It just feels so hard when you're figuring it out, and then eventually it kind of.
We just didn't figure it out to that level.
Exactly. Yeah.
Our figuring stuff.
Well, we figured out real fast that we ain't gonna put that energy into it.
We figured something out.
Wait, I could be that good if I tattoo. If I draw 12 hours a day every day for years, I could be that good. I'm good at being me. I'll be.
And you know what?
Wrong.
We probably won't be that good anyways.
Dave and I have
worked 12 hours a day.
Probably not. Dave and I have mutual friends that have early text work from when he was at Tattoo Zoo.
Wow.
Yeah. We should get pictures of that stuff.
I love his stories of him getting into it and stuff. It's awesome. You know, not dissimilar to Rob Hope, just kind of fake it till you make it kind of thing. And you pretend you're a good tattooer and you eventually become one, you know? And
a lot of people had that start.
Man, that time, you know, whenever, like you guys 30 years ago, or Tech's probably pushing 30, I would think now, you know, there wasn't this, a lot harder.
Yeah. So, but
next question.
We usually end on the 5
tattooers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your podcast is going to be the longest.
God, you're not going to air this all at once, are you? Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow.
No, we're getting 5-minute bits. It's going to be a series run over 20 weeks.
Yeah.
So what we have here, this is the Whole Fast Social Club. It's the newest platform on the market, and what it aims to do is solve some human resource problems in the tattoo industry. If you're a studio owner and you have some empty chairs or a spot open for a few weeks, you can come on here and find some artists to fill them. And if you are an artist, you can come on here and find guest spots or maybe a new place to work. This is the front page. It gives you a little info about what it's all about. And if you're a member and you've created a profile, you can access the artists and studios. So I've clicked on the artists, and it gives me this long list of artists here. You can scroll through. There's a whole bunch. There's pages and pages of them right now. You can search through them using different filters if you'd like. Currently, we'll take a look at mine. This handsome guy, that's me, Smiling Dave Allen. And this is the top of the page. What you'll find is a headshot, a little bit of a bio, gives you a background on what the artist is all about, a profile or a portfolio, small profile, so you can get a sample of what kind of work they do. Check it all out. This is my favorite right here. Check this out. This is Bacon. high as a kite, crispy, dreaming of cheese. Anyway, so you can scroll down. There's a whole lot more in here. The first thing you'll come across is you can connect with this artist. So if you enjoy this profile, and this is somebody you want to connect with, you want to hire them, get them in for a guest spot, you can email them directly via the site. The next thing is a reputation. So this section is our newest feature along with the direct connect. So here, what will happen is you'll see we don't have any on mine yet because we just launched it, but there will be a series of reviews for an artist. So if somebody's worked with me, they can come on here and they'll be like, yeah, Dave's a great guy. I'm going to leave him a review. It tells people how good he is and the experiences I had with him. And their name is tied to that review. So the next person that comes along, the studio comes and sees, oh, there's this review from all these people. They can see who's vouched for them, and gives you a better idea of what their reputation is like in the industry, just like in the real world. That'll help you make decisions a lot better. So if you come on here and you realize that some people you know or some influential people that you trust have a good opinion of people and they vouch for you or this person, then you know it's probably a good bet for you to hire them. Further down the page, this is really helpful for a studio owner. In this section, what we've done is we've tried to narrow down a lot of the parameters that you'd have when you're looking for somebody. So you might want to know what their apprenticeship details are like. What kind of experience do they wish to have? Where they currently work, the art style they work in, musical taste, their year's experience, what their hourly or percentage expectation might be, their local accreditations, and any equipment they require. These are just expectations and things that help you narrow down your search. So it makes hiring someone easier. You don't have to guess and wonder. It's just like, oh, there all is. It's really easy. Now, if you like them, and what you do is you hit this little favorite button here, the little heart. This is favorites. So what this does is it adds them to a list here, my favorites. And you can click on that. And what it will do is it'll gather all your favorites in one spot so you don't have to go back and try to find them again. So just like artists, we also have a studio side. And this is for artists to find studios to work in. Here we have a geographical search. So you can, man, I want to work in California. There's a shop there. Or I want to work in Winnipeg or maybe Nova Scotia or Vancouver or Calgary. Well, you can just search that way. The other way you can search is through all these different filters, or if you actually know the name of the shop, you can type that in as well. So we'll just go to mine and make that really easy. So on the studio page, this is where artists would come and review a studio. The name, a little bio and logo. Again, the favorites is here. So if you like this profile, you click on that and that adds it to your favorites. And down here, I'll tell you the studio hours, the address. Again, a way to connect directly. Reputation. Again, there'll be a list of reviews on here telling you if the shop is good or not. And names will be associated with that. So if I review a shop and I think it's really good, my name will appear there and you'll be like, oh, Dave trusts this shop? Well, they're probably a good place. So the whole idea here is we want to eliminate the power of douche canoes. We want to uplift and elevate good quality people. So if you think someone's a good human and you're a member on here, you should leave a reputation. You should really help them out. That really sets them aside from all the other people. And it helps people make a better decision. Down below, just like on the artist profiles, we have expectations and a little bit more descriptive stuff about the studio. So artists can narrow down their decisions and make better choices. So one of the things you'll find is Instagram accounts of the people that work there to see what the quality's like and who they are. Musical taste, what they're looking for. This would be like full-time or guest artist or part-time. Currently, I'm not looking, so that's not filled in. A description of what the clientele's like. You know, in our neighborhood, it's affluent, cultured, laid back, middle class, and working class. That gives you a good idea of what type of environment you'll be working in. It's a custom clientele as well. Down below, we've included an area or a section where you can describe the local area. So any traveling artist, guest artist, or someone moving to town will get an idea of what that neighborhood's like and what kind of environment they'll be moving into. And then on this side, you have what you'll provide. So as an artist traveling, it's nice to know, like, what's the workload expectation? What kind of shop amenities do you have? What's the payment structure? What's the hourly rate? Are there accommodations available? What's provided in a workstation? All this stuff is just there to make your choice really simplify your choice and your decision-making process. Rather than having to ask every potential employer what it is, it's all right there. Super simple. So that's the artist studios. Your account is basically your account. You can edit your profile here. There's some other features here. We have the Tattoo Podcast on here. The So You're Kinda a Big Deal Tattoo Podcast is brought to you by the Whole Fast Social Club, and we host it here. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. We've got about 13 episodes up now. They're great, really interesting people we were interviewing, and this is just going to grow and grow. So that's something that's provided by the Whole Fast Social Club for free, and also the True North Strong Tattoo Book. Now this is a massive book. It's 350 pages of Canadian tattoo content. It's got some of today's best artists. It's 11 by 17. I can't tell you how amazing this book is. It's got tons and tons of interviews, pictures of tattoos, paintings, just so many amazing people in it. They did such a great job. Sadly, it never made it to print, so we're offering it here for free. You just click on the picture. It'll take you to a link to download the book, and you can enjoy it in all its glory. Really, this is a great thing. So yeah, that's the website as it stands right now. We've got more features coming. The whole idea behind this is to really facilitate the guest spot and the hiring and just to elevate good artists and make sure that we create really healthy, creative environments with good people.